Welcome to Yankton Basketball, brought to you by First Dakota National Bank of Yankton. This broadcast is made possible by the following Sportscaster Club members: Midwest Insurance Agency, Murph's Appliance, Yankton Thrive, Stockman's Motorsports, Les Schwab Tires, Linda's Angel Crossing, MT and RC Smith Insurance Agency, Hy-Vee, Vichy, Elwood Dental, Floortech Restoration, Angela's Mexican Store, Yankton Rexall, KSC Taco Bell, SWAT Chiropractic and Rehab, Slumberland, Larry's Heating and Cooling, America's Best Realty, Larson Carpet, Elkhorn Valley Bank, Anytime Fitness, King Buffet and Mongolian Grill, Yankton Medical Clinic, All Seasons Power Sports, Kaiser Heating and Cooling, Wince and Ray Funeral Home, First Dakota National Bank, JR's Oasis, Intech Cleaning and Restoration, The Bone Setter, Triple Time Rudy's, Farmers Union Insurance, Meridian Photo, Graham Tire, Pied Piper Flowers and Gifts, Kalen's Indoor Comfort, H&H Roofing, Boss's Pizza and Chicken, Wall of Fame, Midwest Ready Mix and Clark's Rentals, and Raven Books. Now, for the Anytime Fitness pregame show with the voice of Yankton Athletics, Zach Spear.
And welcome to Tiger Arena in Huron, South Dakota, where the Gazelles are lined up to play the Huron Tigers. All Yankton Athletics presented by First Dakota National Bank of Yankton. First Dakota has proudly supported the dreams and banking needs of their customers for over 150 years. They offer personal, business, and ag banking solutions for every stage of your journey with 2 locations, downtown and North Broadway, Yankton. Exclusively on Yankton, streaming on YouTube tonight, as we've got USD basketball currently live on Classic Hits 106.3, which we normally are on, and Tanagers basketball on Fox Sports Radio. So stream only. I'm Zach Spear alongside Gage Ravelette, helping out with the camera, stream, and color commentary. And coming into this one, again, it's the Yankton Gazelles into Huron to take on the Tigers. It's the second game of 3 games this week for the Gazelles, and probably the matchup that they're most looking forward to of the 3, because the other 2 opponents coming into this being O'Gorman and Brandon Valley, who are pretty much undoubtedly the top 2 teams in AA. For the Gazelles, they come into this game as the 15 seed in AA, while the Huron Tigers hold the 11 seed. Yankton is 2-7, Huron 5-6. Last in action, we saw Yankton falling to O'Gorman. The final score 38-76. Which, of course, you don't like losing by 30+, but that's an O'Gorman team that is top 2 right now and also beat top 4 Sioux Falls, Washington by more than 30 points. For Huron, their last game came against Mitchell, and that was also on Tuesday, in which they fell 37-56. A look inside the numbers this season, as Yankton scoring about 42.5 points per game, Huron just shy of 47 points per game. In points allowed per game, Yankton allowing just over 55 to Huron's 48.5 points per game. The average difference for a game for Yankton so far is a 13-point swing in favor of their opponents. For Huron, it's very close, as they have a 5-6 record. Their average game is a 1.5 point per game difference, also favoring their opponents. Last season when they faced off, Huron won 50-38, and it was a very good game last time they matched up. I would expect this to be close tonight. The numbers do favor Huron as they score 4.5 more points per game, as well as give up 7 points per game less on the defensive side. Now, this is a scenario where the opponents have greatly contributed to the numbers being as different as they are. Yankton's combined opponents' record is 55-42. That's a winning percentage of 56.7%. Again, one of those teams they played was Sioux Falls Lincoln in a victory. Sioux Falls Lincoln 0-10. If you take them out of the category, the other 8 opponents Yankton has played is 55-32. For Huron, they've also had a tough schedule. Their opponents' combined record so far 60-55. That's a win percentage of 52.1%. Not a huge difference, but it has just been what feels like a really tough schedule for the Gazelles. Either way, though, you've got to beat some of the good teams to boost your standings. An opportunity for each side tonight to try and climb the rankings with a win. Tigers with home court advantage, while at home on this season they are 4-4. Yankton is currently 0-5 on the road, looking for their first road victory. Of course, we will see who comes out on top tonight. And Gage, you think about this. Gazelles come in 2-7. They played some really high-quality opponents, and Huron's a good team. but it's not quite that O'Gorman-Brandon Valley that they are also going to see this week. How do you try and kind of pick this one out? This is the team we're really going to target this week. What are you expecting to see here on the floor tonight?
Like you said, it's been a tough week for Yankton. They had two of the top teams in the state for their class, and Brandon Valley and O'Gorman. And you come to the end of the week, you have this one. The rest of the season's not as tough as the first half of the season. This is a good game to get some momentum under your belt. If they can walk away with a win here, they go 1-3 or 1-2 on the week. Not really ideally, but you lose to two of the top teams. You have some momentum onto the easier part of your schedule to get back to close to 500, start to work your way up the rankings, and find a good spot for their SODAC 16.
And looking at the top 16 in the standings, it's not unrealistic to think the Gazelles could maybe boost their way up to that 11 spot or so. That kind of gets you out of the top 4 teams. So in AA, you've got O'Gorman and Brandon Valley, the top 2 clear teams. Then it kind of feels like there's another 2 top teams as well in Sioux Falls, Washington, and Aberdeen Central. If you can avoid those 4 teams in AA, feel like you give yourself a decent chance into the SODAC 16. Ahead of this matchup, I did get a chance to talk with both head coaches. It's Cody Kaufman for the Huron Tigers and Blake Savvy, as always, for the Gazelles. We'll take a break, and then when we return, we'll start with our chat with Cody Kaufman here on Yankton Streaming on YouTube.
Hi, I'm Franny Kiefer with the Yankton School District Alumni Association. We strive to create a community of alumni and friends who support extracurricular and educational opportunities in the Yankton School District through scholarships, grants, innovative education opportunities, and staff appreciation. With us, you will keep connected to a community of Yankton School District alumni and friends all over. You can help continue to pay it forward and help future graduates. Register today at the Yankton School District Alumni Association website.
Interior technicians.
Jerry, I need your help. I'm in a real pickle.
How can we help? We clean carpets, furnace and duct cleaning, mold remediation, fire restoration, water damage restoration, office cleaning, and much more.
No, Jerry, I'm in a real pickle. I'm stuck and I can't get out. Hang on, I'll send you a pic so you can see what I mean.
Oh my gosh. When you need it clean, call the Intech team, fixing pickles since 1984.
Lucky for us, life is full of choices, big and small, just as it should be. They define us, make us who we are. And when it comes time for you to choose, a car, home, your next big adventure, or start a new business, Farmers Union Insurance has the variety of choices to make sure you have the perfect coverage to protect each perfect moment. Farmers Union Insurance.
Welcome to Wall of Fame, where style meets customization, specializing in crafting custom clothing and print shirts. We ensure every stitch and every print is of the highest quality, so you get the best clothes every time. We're here for all your promotion needs, and the best part, our process is seamless. Simply share your designs with us and we'll handle the rest. Get custom clothes for the best price. Wall of Fame.
Hello and welcome to our Coaches Conversations. Now chatting with Huron Tigers head coach Cody Kaufman. Coach, how are you doing today?
Hey, I'm very good, thank you.
Of course, and could you tell me about your season so far?
Yeah, so we are 11 games in, so we just jumped over the halfway mark on Tuesday when we played Mitchell. So we are 5-6 on the season. You know, we started off before Christmas and we're playing really well. We went 3-1 before Christmas. We lost our first game, and then we won 3 in a row, so we were 3-1. We come out of Christmas, and we lost 3 in a row to drop to 3-4, and then we won. Then after that, we won 2 in a row, so we went back to 5-4, and now we're on a 2-game losing streak with Yankton coming to town tonight, which puts us at 5-6. So as you can tell, we're a little bit streaky. You know, some of that has to do with the way we play, have played, and then some of it has to do with our opponents as well. So looking for a little bit more consistency on a night-to-night basis, game-to-game basis that we haven't got at the offensive end and defensive end. You know, some nights we play pretty good defensively, struggle a little bit offensively, and then, you know, other nights it's vice versa. So looking to put it all together and try and hopefully have a good game offensively and defensively here.
And since this game was originally scheduled to be one of the first of the season, what are some of the differences from your team then to now?
I think like Yankton as well, we know more about our personnel, right? Before we were going to play Yankton. Yankton had played a game. They had played Sioux Falls Lincoln, and we hadn't played yet, so it was going to be our first game. But I think we know more, what to expect out of our personnel. It looks to me like, from our standpoint, we know who we need to get more out of. We know who our expectations are raised on. Who might not be able to fulfill all the expectations that we had at the beginning of the year, but understanding that maybe they can't fill the role that we asked. So we have more definite roles now. Understanding what kids' strengths and weaknesses, and especially once teams have us on film, what we can and what we can't do, and how we need to keep working on that. So.
And now you host the Yankton Gazelles. Your thoughts on this one?
Yeah, it probably looks like it's a little. They have benefited from this, from the rescheduled game because, man, they look like they have figured things out, and they got a lot of young girls, a couple freshmen that are playing well for them, along with Wolfgram and along with Rao. So they play really hard. They play up and down. They're going to shoot a lot of threes, and on nights, when they make them, they're really tough to beat. So been very impressed with what I saw of them on film. We got to make sure that they don't turn us over, and then we got to make sure we get hands up on shooters and they can't get open look, because if they do, they're a very formidable team, and I know that their record doesn't necessarily show that, but I really like how hard they play. They're scrappy, they play really good defense, and coming to the Huron Arena, we have our work cut out for us tonight.
And who are a couple of players on your team that we should expect to make big plays?
The one that everybody's going to talk about, everybody knows, is Hilton Hines. She's averaging, I think, close to 20 points a game. She does pretty much, does a lot for us. A lot of scoring for us, but handles the ball, plays good defense. So everybody will know who she is before she ever steps on the court. Rightfully so. She was, all conference last year, honorable mention, all state last year as a junior. So you're going to know her. Then the other two, that handle the ball a lot, make plays for us, are Addison Knight and Allie Davis. Those girls just, they just kind of do everything. They're kind of our defensive stoppers. Get a ton of deflections, get a ton of steals, get out on the fast break and finish at the rim. So we look for them to have the ball in their hands a lot, especially when defense is anchored towards trying to stop Hilton. They got to handle the ball more, and then we get her off the ball and see if we can get her in some open space that way. So those are the three that we look, that we rely on with playmaking. And then, like I said, we just need good balance from everybody else to be able to win a basketball game.
Well, Coach, thanks a lot for taking time to chat with me today. We should be in for a good one tonight.
You bet. Thank you for your time.
Again, that was head coach Cody Kaufman of the Huron Tigers on our Coaches Conversations. Next, our chat with Gazelles head coach Blake Savvy, only on Yankton, streaming on YouTube. Triple Time Rudy's on the corner of 16th and Broadway, Yankton. Stop in and check out their wide variety of items. Grab some snacks, whether you want chips, popcorn, or something sweet, they have it. Ice-cold beverages, or when you need that boost in the morning, coffee. You can also grab the best locally produced meats, meat sticks, and cheeses in the area. Guaranteed fresh. For those hot days, grab a Freezy too. Get all your car needs and 5 cents off a gallon when using cash. All at Triple Time Rudy's, Yankton.
The Bone Setter Chiropractic, Yankton. I'm Dr. TJ Stotz. When you need chiropractic, we're here. We use a hands-on approach, decompression traction, electrical stimulation, acupuncture, and state-of-the-art examination techniques. We're happy to offer exercise and supplement advice as well. The Bone Setter Chiropractic, 215 Mulberry, Suite 9, Yankton. Call or text 605-401-5701. Bringing you comfort when there's discomfort.
Starting the first bank in South Dakota was the easy part, earning the confidence of local farmers, helping families account for their dreams, and securing the future for countless businesses took us a little longer. We owe it to the hard workers, big dreamers, and forward thinkers out there. Thank you for making South Dakota a great place to call home.
Authentic Mexican food goods with the family touch is here in Yankton at Angela's Mexican Store. From fresh produce and meats to the spices and the snacks you miss from home. Traveling or just moved? No problem. They accept money from many different countries. Check out the different kinds of money on the wall. Family owned, family loved. They treat you like family. Angela's Mexican Store, where culture meets community. Stop in today.
Les Schwab Tires, located at 2809 Broadway in Yankton. It's the place to buy tires with all different tread types to fit your needs and rims ready to make your vehicle shine. Not only do they sell tires, they fix them too. Flats, brakes, alignments, and more. You can feel confident that your car will be taken care of. No waiting for your tires, they should have them in stock. If you're looking for tractor or semi-tires, those are available too. Les Schwab Tires, where the sign says it all.
MT and RC Smith Insurance has been a part of the Yankton community since 1949. Our agency would love to help you with your home, auto, business, life, and long-term care insurance needs.
We take pride in providing you with quality service when you have a claim or need to make changes to your coverage.
The MT and RC Smith Insurance Agency is flexible to meet with you in person or at the office at 204 West 4th Street. Give them a call for insurance changes, payments, claims, or service requests.
Back on our coaches' conversations, Blake Savvy of the Gazelles. Coach, your team last took on O'Gorman this Tuesday. What did you see in that game?
Yeah, going into that game, we defined 3 wins for ourselves that we wanted to look at possession by possession and just try and find as many times as we could. And those were break their press, find great shots, and then play great team defense. And I thought that there was a good amount of possessions in which we found those, especially in the second quarter. Probably the third time this year, I thought we've seen a really good response from our girls when we could have just kind of cowered away and been done. To start the game, down in a 28-3 hole and be able to climb back out of that and actually win the second quarter 17-14. And that just shows a lot of resilience by our girls. It was good problem solving on their part. And working together to find solutions against their press and their half-court defense. And so I was really, really proud of that effort. And, you look up and down O'Gorman's schedule, that's just how it's gone for that. They're a really good team. You look at their final versus number 3, Sioux Falls, Washington, 72-35. There's just a big gap right now between a Brandon Valley and an O'Gorman and the rest of the state. And so we have to choose to take that as a learning and growing moment and not necessarily a definition of who we are as a team.
And it really felt like once your team was past the press, the offense played quite well and the shots were falling.
Yeah, I thought it was really awesome to see Kelson Wells step up and hit some from the outside. It was good to see her have that confidence and, again, start to get those full minutes back after still kind of working back from a little bit of time out with an injury. And I thought Eden did a really good job finding actually a lot of inside shots. She hit a couple threes, but she did a lot of great work just finding some mid-range shots against the zone. And then, another one that I think quietly had a really good game was Jocelyn Elwood. I think on the defensive end, she did a lot of really good things, and she was a big key in helping break that press, and she just stayed calm, was quick with the ball, made good decisions and decisive decisions with it, and really was just kind of that glue player on the floor that kept us all together and moving in the right direction.
And now coming up, you take on the Huron Tigers. Your thoughts on this one?
Yeah, this is going to be a really fun matchup. Anytime you go to the Huron Arena, that is a historic place to play basketball. It's a good ESD matchup. They're a defensive team. That's kind of where they're going to hang their hat, and that's where we have to go and win that game as well. So it's going to be a defensive battle. We want to let defense lead to our offense and just continue to, I think we saw that even last night against O'Gorman. When the ball moves quickly and we can penetrate gaps and find the paint, our offense can do really good things. And so we need more of the same with that, and then to another level a little bit. I think there's a lot of confidence that can be gained if we look at the right spots from Tuesday night. And now you take that and apply that to a team like Huron and you go find those answers again and you just try and find them more often.
And now we are about halfway through the season. What is kind of your overall recap of what you've seen from the team so far?
I've been really impressed with, again, just the resilience in, throughout the season, but also just within games as well. There's been a lot of times this year where, we've gotten ourselves in a hole to start a game, which is something we do want to work out of. But we have seen responding with some runs of our own, and that just hasn't necessarily been the case in the last couple of seasons. It's been generally once that team goes on their run, we kind of get a little bit defeated and deflated. But we've really done a good job responding this year. And then I think if you look at the season as a whole, we've learned a lot. We absolutely have gotten better as the season has gone on. And we've got a really good stretch of the second half of the season coming here where, night in and night out, we've got to go into the tip-off thinking we've got just as much, if not more, of a chance to win as our opponent. And so that's really exciting. But again, it's those steps of learning how to win, and we have to approach that with the right mentality. We can't get too high, can't get too low, and just can't be affected by who the opponent is on the other side, but more just have confidence in who we are as a team.
Well, Coach, as always, appreciate the time. We'll talk with you after this game.
Awesome. Thank you.
Again, that was head coach Blake Savvy of the Yankton Gazelles on our Coaches Conversations. Game time just moments away, all here on Yankton streaming on YouTube.
What does FloorTech do? When disaster strikes, water damage, mold growth, or fire cleanup, call the team you can trust. FloorTech Cleaning and Restoration. They respond fast to protect your home or business and restore it the right way with honesty, integrity, and top-notch service. Their crews proudly serve southeast South Dakota and northeast Nebraska, including Yankton, Mitchell, Norfolk, and Sioux Falls. For 24/7 emergency service, call 800-507-1822. If your home or floor is wet, call FloorTech or visit them at floortechrestoration.com.
Pied Piper Flowers and Gifts on the corner of 15th and Broadway in Yankton. Your full-service flower and gift store. Beautiful fresh flower arrangements to artificial arrangements. Gifts, sympathy, foodie items to snarky gifts. Stop by and let the gals at Pied Piper give you the personal service you deserve. Brighten your day and head to Pied Piper Flowers and Gifts, where you'll find something new every time you go. Pied Piper Flowers and Gifts Yankton, they deliver.
Hi, it's Linda at Linda's Angel Crossing in Yankton. I carry Tribal, Lulu Bee, Ethel, Southern Lady, and Old Ranch. I have other brands too. The nursery has everything you need for babies. Copper pearl bibs, magnetic sleepers, swaddlers, bag sleepers, and baptism. Toddler clothing, boys and girls Under Armour to size 7, toys, little golden books, and other unique kids' toys. Linda's Angel Crossing, 1101 Broadway in Yankton.
At Anytime Fitness Yankton, your fitness journey starts with one step, and Anytime Fitness will be with you every step of the way. Open 24 hours a day with top-of-the-line equipment and guidance you need to reach your goals. Plus, your membership gives you access to every Anytime Fitness gym anywhere. No matter your goals, no matter the time, you belong at Anytime Fitness Yankton. Located at 2509 Fox Run Parkway. Start today at Anytime Fitness, where your fitness journey never stops.
And back on our Anytime Fitness of Yankton pregame show. Anytime Fitness Yankton, let's make healthy happen, as the Huron JV squad able to knock out the JV Gazelles, as we're running a little bit behind here in Tiger Arena, but not too bad. Looking probably closer to a 7:10 tip-off, where we've got 6:55 on the clock right now. 11 minutes on the warm-ups as both these squads out on the floor right now. And coming up, we've got our national anthem, starting lineups, and, of course, tip-off. Gazelles last were in action. That was this Tuesday in a doubleheader with the Bucks and Gazelles both taking on O'Gorman. And O'Gorman coming away 2-0 on the night. For the Gazelles, they fell to the Lady Knights 76-38. Your stats in that one: Kelson Wells with 8 points, 2 rebounds. Jocelyn Elwood with 1 rebound, 3 assists, and 2 steals. Eden Wolfgram led the way in scoring, 16 points, 4 rebounds, 2 assists, 1 steal. Nora Kraske, 3 points, 1 assist, 1 steal. Jordan Cooter had 2 points, 2 rebounds, and an assist. September Rao with 6 points, 2 rebounds, 1 assist, 2 steals. Sabrina Kraske pulled in 1 rebound. Brenna Elwood had 1 assist, and Olivia Woods with 1 rebound. The team combined for 38 points, 13 rebounds, 9 assists, and 6 steals. They shot at a 38% clip on their field goal percentage, which is okay. It's kind of on par for what they have done for most of the season, but they also tied that match, or that same amount, for their three-point shooting, in which they shot at a 38% clip. Now, free throws, 0 for 2. They went 0% for free throws and just only 2 attempts all game. That's something they would certainly like to get a lot more attempts. We come off games where Eden Wolfgram alone has gotten over 10 free throw attempts herself. Just 2 free throw attempts, though, against O'Gorman. Now, credit to O'Gorman's defense. They're a very good defense, don't foul very much, but if you don't get to the free throw line more than 2 times a night, it's probably going to be trouble for your squad.
Yeah, not getting to the line, that's one big issue, but there is a lot of good size. You played the number 1 team in the state, number 2 team in the state, arguably number 1, back-to-back champions, of course. But that three-point percentage number, 38 behind the arc. Over their season, they're averaging 27%, and that number is boosted by that 38. So they eclipse their average by well over the mark. If they can even resemble, not half of that, of course, but resemble that even a little bit here tonight, they'll be set up really good. Another kind of spot I'd like the Gazelles to focus on tonight is just the number of steals. Wolfgram averages 2.2 steals a game. Kudera over 1 steal, and Rao just over 1 steal. If they can get a few more steals than that, if they can get steals kind of up into that 8-9 range and force a lot of turnovers for this Huron team, they're going to get frustrated. This Huron team's also around 500, under 500, so their momentum's really going to carry them throughout the game. If the Gazelles can start with the momentum, they can ride it through the rest of the game and hopefully pick up the win here tonight.
And as you kind of mentioned, the 500 season, Coach Kaufman talked about the Tigers, just saying, we're really a team of runs. We either go on a win streak or a losing streak, and there's really been no in between. He'd like a little bit more consistency. Right now they are on a 2-game losing streak, and Gazelles trying to push that to 3. I'm glad you mentioned that 3-point shooting percentage, though. When your 3-point shooting can match your just overall field goal percentage, it means you shot well from downtown, and they did. And the thing is, O'Gorman, now, yes, they did end up winning by quite a margin. It was a 38-point victory for O'Gorman, and that was mostly because of that full-court pressure from O'Gorman really just stopped the Gazelles dead in their tracks on a lot of possessions. But when the Gazelles were actually able to set up in the half court and run their offense, they got good looks against one of the best defenses in the state and got good looks, and that's what ended up resulting in those higher shooting percentages. And you've got to think, if they can continue and they can play that well in the half-court offense against Huron tonight, they'll certainly have a chance in this one.
Yeah, no, I agree. You just got to win over that turnover battle. I haven't watched too much of Huron. I can't imagine they're going to run a lot of full-court press like O'Gorman does. That should allow Yankton to set up more of their offense, not get too lazy with the ball while they bring it up the court, and just give them more chances overall to put the ball up towards the nylon at the very least.
And there was a couple players in that game I do want to shout out with big performances. Eden Wolfgram, she's certainly not one that she certainly is one that we're used to mentioning. Led the way in scoring, 16 points. That's nearly half of the team's points. They ended up with 38. She had 16 of those, and she leads the team in scoring. She scores more than twice as much as the second leading scorer, so, not too shocking. But someone who had a very nice game was Kelson Wells off of the bench, the second most points out of anyone, and chipped in a couple of rebounds. Now, just a couple games ago, Kelson Wells did get injured and then missed a game. Then the game back, she had some limited minutes and just last in action against O'Gorman. We did see her back to her regular minutes now. She did come off the bench yet, but played a lot more minutes and really made a big impact in that one. A look at the polls now here, as we've got both the South Dakota Media Prep poll as well as the Power 5 poll in Girls AA. As we mentioned, Brennan Valley and O'Gorman definitely the top 2. Brennan Valley's 10-0 currently on the season. They're going to be the number 1 ranked team until they lose. Bishop O'Gorman in second, that's where they were last week. Sioux Falls, Washington in third, no change. Aberdeen Central in fourth, no change. And also Rapid City Stevens in fifth with no change on the South Dakota Media Prep poll. Also receiving votes, T-Area, Mitchell, and Sioux Falls, Jefferson. Then to the South Dakota Power 5 poll. In Girls AA, Brandon Valley in first, O'Gorman in second, Sioux Falls, Washington in third, Rapid City Stevens in fourth, and Aberdeen Central in fifth. So the only difference between the Media Prep poll and the South Dakota Power 5 poll right now is that 4 and 5 spot is flipped, depending between Rapid City Stevens and Aberdeen Central. And no one receiving votes in the Power 5 poll outside of those top 5. And it really feels like we've kind of ironed out who for sure the 4 top teams are, and then possibly that 5th as well with Rapid City Stevens. Some other games going on around the state here tonight. Aberdeen Central against Sioux Falls, Washington. That is the number 3 against the number 4 ranked team right there. They have combined for 18 wins on the season. That should be a good one we'll keep an eye on. Starts at 7 in Sioux Falls as Washington hosts the Golden Eagles. Sioux Falls Roosevelt travels not very far to take on T-Area. The Titans currently receiving votes at 7 and 5. Sioux Falls Roosevelt 2 and 8. A West River battle as Spearfish hosts Rapid City Central. Spearfish 4 and 4 on the season. Rapid City Central 4 and 5. Of course, here tonight at the Huron Arena, Yankton has traveled here as this game was originally supposed to be the second game of the season. It's been postponed, and I do think, as Coach Kaufman also said, probably benefited the Gazelles maybe a little bit more than Huron, as Gazelles are a little bit of a younger squad. They were last year. They returned all of their starters. And they're still a younger squad, not a whole lot of seniors on that team. So you feel like younger teams benefit more from getting a little bit more play time behind them. You're going to see more improvement from a younger team from game 1 to game 10 than you maybe will with a senior-laden team, as they kind of come out of the gates about as expected. So we'll see, though, here tonight. Should be a good one. Also going on, Sturgis Brown traveling in to take on St. Thomas More, and Class A team that's receiving votes at 9 and 3. Sturgis Brown 3 and 7. And then in the final game listed tonight for girls AA, Douglas travels to take on Lead Deadwood. Douglas 2 and 7 on the year. Lead Deadwood 3 and 11. Tip-off is nearing closer and closer as we continue on our Anytime Fitness of Yankton pregame show. We'll take our final break of the pregame. When we return, we'll have our national anthem, starting lineups, and game time as the Yankton Gazelles traveling to take on the Huron Tigers. I'm Zach Spear alongside Gage Ravelette, exclusively here on Yankton, streaming on YouTube.
Craving something boss-level delicious? Come out to Boss Pizza and Chicken, where flavor meets delicious and delicious meets drooling. Your taste buds won't be the same when you taste the bold flavors of Boss Pizza and Chicken. From crispy chicken to juicy burgers to handcrafted specialty pizzas, Boss has it all. Serving lunch and dinner Monday through Sunday starting at 11 o'clock. That's why they're the boss. Boss Pizza and Chicken, just waiting to crush your cravings.
Warmer days are coming, and sooner or later your air conditioning will need to kick in as well. But what if it doesn't? Well, don't wait. Call Larry's Heating and Cooling. With 43 years in the business, we're very knowledgeable on what we do and how we serve our customers. You can rest assured that when you call day or night, someone will always pick up the call. Join our elite club today and become a priority member. Skip the line, get discounts on services, and have no overtime fees. Call Larry's Heating and Cooling for expert service from factory-trained technicians.
Slumberland Furniture at 2401 Broadway in Yankton, home of Kirkland Furniture Group's, bedroom groups by Laguna, and dining sets by Tower and Catadel. They're also the only place to offer furniture by Flex Steel and the biggest selection of Lazy Boy in the area. The Mattress Gallery is full of the best brand name mattresses in the business, including the all-new Tempur-Pedic Active Breeze personalized climate-controlled mattress. Slumberland Furniture, dining, bedroom sets, and mattresses in Yankton.
Doctors Lane, Reed, and Cole Swatsky make up the SWAT Chiropractic team. Check out their new location at 2000 Summit Street, Yankton, South Dakota. At SWAT Chiropractic and Rehab, they'll treat your neck and back pain, headaches and migraines, plantar fasciitis, sciatica, sports injuries, elbow, knee, rotator cuff, nerve injuries, and more. SWAT Chiropractic, specialized wellness and therapy. Let them get you ready for wherever life leads you. And we are nearing closer and closer to tip-off between the Yankton Gazelles and the Huron Tigers at Huron Arena. The Tigers coming in at 5-6, and for the Gazelles, 2-7 on the season. Again, coming up, we'll have our national anthem. We'll leave it here, live for the national anthem on Yankton, streaming on YouTube. as we always like to make sure to honor America. After that, starting lineups and tip-off. For Huron, they'll be wearing their white jersey and shorts trimmed out in black and orange. For the Gazelles, on the road in black jersey and shorts, trimmed out in red. And, well, on the floor, they have turned the lights off, so I've got to assume they are actually going to do the starting lineups before our national anthem tonight. So we will do the same here. And it's time for your starting lineups, brought to you by Larry's Heating and Cooling of Yankton and Vermilion. For all your heating and cooling needs, it's Larry's Heating and Cooling anytime, any day. We start with the Huron Tigers, who host the Gazelles. 5-6, their record, coached by Cody Kaufman. Junior forward at 5'9", it's number 14, Addison Knight. Senior forward at 5'8", number 20, Allie Davis. Senior guard at 5'8", it's number 22, Hilton Hines. Junior forward at 5'9", number 23, Abigail Harrington. And to round off the Tigers lineup, senior center, Chloe Carr. And, well, I guess we jumped the gun on the starting lineups as they turned the lights off, assumed they were on the starting lineups, and then it was into the national anthem. So, as I was last saying, to round off the Tigers starting lineup, senior center at 6 feet tall, it's Chloe Carr. It's now time to meet your Yankton Gazelles starting lineup for tonight, presented by Larry's Heating and Cooling of Yankton and Vermilion.
Jocelyn Elwood, number 5, guard.
Eden Wolfgram, number 10, guard.
Nora Krasky, number 11, guard. Jordan Kudera, number 13, guard.
September Rao, 21, guard.
And those were your starting lineups presented by Larry's Heating and Cooling of Yankton and Vermilion. A big thank you and shout out to Pivotal Photo for allowing us to use their video for our starting lineups. They look amazing. And if you need video work done, Pivotal Photo is who you need to go to. On the floor right now, they finish up their starting lineups for the Tigers at home, hosting the Yankton Gazelles. For the Gazelles, black jersey and shorts trimmed out in black. Tigers in all white jersey trimmed out in orange and black as lights remain off. But getting closer and closer to tip off. A game set for 7. It's currently 7-10. And now the teams taken to the floor are now huddled up. The lights have turned on, and it is just nearly game time here in Huron. Lots of excitement here And in the center circle is September Rao for the Gazelles. It's Chloe Carr for the Tigers. Height advantage, Chloe Carr. Ball is up. Tip controlled by Yankton, and this game officially underway. The Gazelles will start on offense, moving it left to right. Jordan Kudra with it, loses the basketball to the hands of Eden Wolfgram. Wolfgram dishes it out. Rao thought about the three, instead drives, kicks it. Kraske, open look from three, off the back iron it goes. Fight for the rebound, last touch by Huron, and Yankton will retain possession.
That's a good opening look for the Gazelles to start the game. They couldn't get that shot to fall, but they had an open shot. You know, you have to think later in the game them type of shots are going to fall.
A good look and then a fight for the rebound, as he said. Just 2 attempts here as driving as September Rao had the ball poked free. Ends up to the hands of Abigail Harrington, and now the Tigers for the first time on offense. They move it right to left. Driving it baseline and getting stopped under the hoop. They lucked out a little bit and ended up back in their hands. Allie Davis with it on the far side here. Brings it up to the top and gives it up Addison Knight. The player to watch here on Huron's offense is Hilton Hines as Kraske pokes the basketball free. And now to the hands of September Rao it goes. Yankton on offense and scoring it quickly is Nora Kraske. Nora Kraske, the reason that play happened, and 2-0, Yankton leads.
You know, we talked about it pregame. You want to get steals early on. You want to win this turnover battle. That's a good start.
And Jocelyn Elwood gets a hand on that, forces another turnover, as Gage, you were just in the middle of talking about forcing turnovers, and they got another one. With it, Rao on the near side corner up top to Jordan Kudera. Kudera dishes it out to Rao. Rao, her pass gets deflected and taken away. Back-to-back turnovers on each side. Tigers want to move the basketball quickly. Ball knocked out of bounds. Last touch, though, by Allie Davis and the Huron Tigers. 6:21 to play in the first. Yankton leads 2-0 on the Fox Stop of Yankton scoreboard. Inbound gets into Wolfgram, and now they split the full court pressure. It's a 3-on-1. Kudera finds an open. Elwood lofts it up off the back iron. So far, a defensive effort for the Gazelles as that shot lofted up and sunk. Hilton Hines shows why she can be an all-state level player with that bucket right there.
Just beat them in transition off of the missed shot. Something Huron's going to look to do all game.
And Jordan Kudera draws the contact. A nice feed there by Eden Wolfgram. Could have very well taken that layup herself. Unselfish basketball, though. Gives it up, and now free throws coming up for Kudera as the foul goes against Chloe Carr, her first personal, first one we've seen all night. Kudera at the free throw line, a chance to take the lead back for Yankton, and does so as the first one drops. And Kelson Wells will check in place of September Rao. And so far for Yankton, what I've really liked is their defense. They've given up 2 points, and it wasn't necessarily an open look. It was just a better bucket. You know, good defense, better offense. Kudera sinks the second of 2. 2-4, Huron trails with the basketball. Yankton with a full court press, a dangerous pass, but it gets up across to Jency Gergen. Now to the far side, they swing it Allie Davis. Down low, they move it, ball knocked out, and last touched by Jayla Schley, and Huron, another forced turnover for Yankton.
Has to be 4 or 5 by now, and we're only 3 minutes into the game.
Now, we said we'd like to see about 10 steals. Of course, that's not going to technically count as a steal, but it's going to do just the same and count as a turnover, though, forced. Wolfgram bolts it up ahead the floor. Gets it across, curls around the defender, sets up the offense. Just over 5 minutes to play in our first quarter. Yankton up 4-2. Wolfgram way downtown, misses it all there. Rebound into the hands of the Tigers. Up ahead, the Tigers move it. Jency Gergen gets stopped by Jocelyn Elwood, who's all over her. Davis with it. Swings it corner, Hines. Hines gets the screen and the switch. Works against Wells, trying to work it down low. Kelson Wells pokes it free, and now the foul's going to be called on Yankton here. And you can tell right away Yankton is putting a special effort on Hilton Hines on the defensive end.
Yeah, and really they've done a superb job of that so far. Huron only has 2 points. I mean, they're only up by 2, but limiting Huron's scoring opportunities all game.
Kelson Wells picks up the foul, and that's 1 on each side now in the first quarter of action. Ball is tipped on the inbound, and Kudera strips it away. A great play there by Jordan Kudera, coast to coast. The scoop layup falls. Jordan Kudera leads the game in scoring. She's got 4, and now a travel. Jency Gergen got tied up. Wolfgram was right in her face, and now a timeout going to be called by Coach Kaufman of the Tigers. It's a Lindsay Echo Water Systems of Yankton water break. Locally owned for 4 generations. Call them for water softening and purification, salt, reverse osmosis needs, and bottled water. That's Lindsay Echo Water Systems of Yankton. We'll keep it here during this break. And right now the Gazelles leading 6-2, Gage. What have you seen so far from Yankton that's worked out well?
Oddly enough, it's exactly what we were talking about pregame. It's just this tenacious defense. They're forcing a lot of turnovers. They're getting a lot of steals. Kudera already has 2 steals here in the first quarter, and both of them have led to the points off the turnover. They're doing a really nice job at limiting these scoring chances from Huron, and that's why they're up 6-2.
And I like that you mentioned the points off of turnover. Turnover doesn't do you much good if you don't score off of it. Right now, 4 of their 6 have come off those turnovers. Gazelles basketball. Elwood just has to loft it up top. Wolfgram. Yankton looking to extend their lead here. Elwood crosses court to Kudera. Kudera drives, kicks it. Wolfgram faked it from 3. Pulling the trigger downtown. Kind iron for September Rao. Gazelles lead by 7. Halfway through the first quarter, it's 9-2. Yankton controlling this one, and the answer on the other side. Gergen, no hesitation, pulls it from deep.
I'm pretty sure that was from the parking lot.
What a shot, Jency Gergen. The confidence to even take that one. Brings her team back within 4 for back-to-back-to-back threes. Wolfgram's attempt doesn't fall. Tigers a chance to cut into this Yankton lead. Driving with it here. Hilton Hines floats it up, leaves it short. Offensive rebound, though. And now Kelson Wells now with her 2nd personal already in the game. Wells had such a great game off the bench last time around. Was the 2nd leading scorer off the bench. She's now got 2 personal fouls.
And you were talking about her pregame coming up big against O'Gorman with 8 points. That's 5-6 points over her average. Losing her early is going to be huge for this Yankton team. Not positively huge, but detrimental huge.
Ball's on the floor. Wolfgram's going to have a freebie layup, but too much she put on it. Kudera pulled it in. That's a missed opportunity for Yankton right there.
Luckily, they've had a few more of those early in the game they've been able to cash off. They still keep possession, so it's not all for loss.
And so far, kind of a cold shooting night for Eden Wolfgram, which, of course, Yankton, they rely so heavily on her. But the thing is, you're up 4 with your leading scorer having not scored in this game and missing some shots she normally knocks down. It tells you your team's playing well overall.
Yeah, as the season goes on, all these players are kind of learning how to play with each other. They're beginning to mesh. A lot more of these role player, in a sense, are going to start picking up some slack.
And we have certainly seen that. As we mentioned, Wells being one of those players has picked up a lot of steam. And now a foul again on Yankton, as on the flip side, Rao wanted another triple and couldn't get that one to go. We do see that often with her. When she knocks in a shot from downtown, she's not afraid to try again and see if the shot's fallen. So the foul will go against Jordan Kudera. That is her 1st personal. Team is up to 3 in the quarter now with 2:54 to go. Addison Knight has it now to Harrington. She wants to move it down low, and a foul again on Yankton. Gazelles and Coach Savvy wanted the travel, but instead we'll see if they call it a shooting foul or on the floor. They'll say on the floor here. as Kraske picks up her first. And really, Nora Kraske, the defensive specialist on her team, one of those players, the stats don't do her justice. Off the inbound, a quick release on the three, no good. Fight for the rebound. It ends up with Huron for another opportunity. Into the lane, Hines off the glass. And she scores it, brings Huron right back within two. A nice answer for the Tigers. Yankton quickly breaks that full court press as Kudera now fouled on the shot. More free throws coming up. So already, Gage, within the first quarter, more free throws than we saw on Tuesday for the Gazelles.
And now it's just a matter of, can you make them?
Kudera did go 2 for 2 at the line in her first trip. This will be her third and fourth attempts from the charity stripe. Third attempt, no good.
Little announcer's jinx.
Feels like it happens every time. 2 of 3 now at the line is Kudera. Next one, rattles in and out. So 0 for 2 at the line, and it stays a 2-point difference in this one. Up ahead with it, Allie Davis dumps it off down low. Firing the shot up, no good there. The attempt for Jayla Schley, who swings it out for the lead, no good on the second attempt from downtown. Davis has it, puts it down low. Abigail Harrington fighting for it, and another foul on Yankton. Yankton has picked up their fourth. Any more fouls will result in free throws for Huron. This one will as well, as it was a shooting foul, and it goes against September Rao, now her first personal. This is one thing as a team you can't do is get into foul trouble, as it certainly gives the opposing team the benefit.
Gazelles going to have to watch themselves for a full 2 minutes to end this first quarter. It's going to be tough with the defense they're kind of playing to start the game.
And Yankton does run an aggressive defense. Timeout now called by Coach Savvy to save his squad, but we are all knotted up. A minute 58, timeout Gazelles. Another Lindsay Echo Water Systems of Yankton water break. We'll be back in 30 seconds on Yankton, streaming on YouTube.
Yankton Rexall in the Meridian District, Yankton, for all your gifts and decor needs. It's the only place in town to find both Hallmark ornaments and cards for any occasion. They also have Willow Tree and Precious Moments collectibles, the perfect anniversary and wedding gifts, nativity scenes, Watkins products, and single $1 chocolates. The Yankton Rexall Pharmacy for all your prescription needs. Yankton Rexall at the corner of 3rd and Douglas, downtown Yankton.
Back on the floor out of the timeout called by Coach Savvy and his squad. It was a nice start to get up 9-2, but now a 7-0 run for the Huron Tigers to tie this one back up. Gazelles do have possession, and each side has called a timeout so far on the floor tonight. Yankton gets it in. Wolfgram gives it up. Kudera fires up across the head. On the fast break, Yankton had a good look, but are forced to slow it down. Kudera drives, left her layup attempt short, and Huron does pull in the rebound after it was on the floor for a bit. Tigers with a chance for the lead now here. Any score puts them on top, and a foul going to be called on Eden Wolfgram. That's bonus free throws for the Tigers.
Yeah, that's something you cannot have, especially here in the final minute and a half of the quarter. You know, if you get beat, you sometimes just have to let her go and try to contest a basket. Don't try to stop her between then and give her free shots regardless.
Wolfgram, her first foul of the night, and the 5th overall for Yankton. First free throw misses, so we remain tied for now. It has been a good one here so far tonight. Last game was a good one. We expected this one to be a close one until the end. Both teams looking for a jump in the standings as the next one a swish. And the Tigers take their very first lead of the night with 95 seconds to play in our first quarter. Still full court pressure. We're a little surprised to see as much of that from Huron. Brenna Elwood with it for Yankton as they do cross into the offensive half of the floor. Wolfgram rattles in a bank shot, a long two. No hesitation, gets her team back on top. A nice shot you like to see fall. Maybe not the easiest, but either way, it just gets that going. When a shooter gets one to drop, usually they can get the next one to go as well. Allie Davis drove with it, got stopped. Now Addison Knight down low, fouled, and free throws coming up yet again for Huron.
Yeah, back-to-back possessions. That one's a little better of foul than that last possession, but still something you cannot have. You're giving them 4 shots, 4 points at the basket here in the first.
And so at the free throw line here, and missing the first is Addison Knight, a chance to tie it if she makes the second. As the foul goes on Jocelyn Elwood, every Gazelle who started in this game has a foul. And 2 off the bench from Kelson Wells as the second of 2 finds its way to the bottom of the net, and we are tied up at 11 apiece. Under a minute to play in our first quarter of action. Still full court pressure from Huron, and they're really trying to make Yankton work for it.
I probably watched film from that O'Gorman game. You know, you see what works. You have a blueprint. Why not follow it?
Wolfgram able to get right by the defenders. The pass, though, off of the hands of Nora Kraske. Maybe had a good look had she caught that one.
Yeah, wide open 3. You just have to do the actual work of making the shot. But, you know, something tells me she would have made that.
Kraske certainly no stranger to the three-point line. As the Tigers back to work on offense. Up top, Hines swings it to Davis, and now with 3 seconds in the lane on Huron. A lot of turnovers on each side to start this one. Started out favoring the Gazelles. Huron then forced a few on Yankton, and we're pretty evened up now, and a foul on the Tigers. We've got 10 fouls already in the first quarter, Gage. 6 on Yankton, 4 on Huron now. Allie Davis picks up her first personal. Again, their team's 4th. As it's just been one of those nights so far to start. We'll see. That's probably going to be a big emphasis on each side into the second quarter. 30 seconds to play here. Wolfgram splits the defenders, drives it, takes it all the way. What a finish. Eden Wolfgram making it look easy on that possession.
Tough players make tough shots, and that was a tough shot right there.
16 seconds to go for the lead. Downtown! Gergen, her second of the night.
3's more than 2.
14-13 Huron with the basketball. Wolfgram wants it again. A mid-range jumper. And what a close to the first quarter. Eden Wolfgram had no points with about a minute 50 to play in that first quarter, up to 6. Single-handedly outscoring Huron in those closing minute and a half right there.
Yeah, that was just crazy to watch. You know, I'm watching it through a computer screen here, Zach, but, you know, whether I'm seeing it with my real eyeballs or through a computer screen, that's just some good basketball. A star player takes over. That's exactly what the Gazelles need to get the momentum back here in this one.
As he said, star player Wolfgram, 14.5 points per game, up to 6. As we'll take a quick break, we'll be back for the start of the second quarter. This is Gazelles basketball on Yankton, streaming on YouTube.
There's a whole new world out there. It's called the off-road, and it's waiting to be explored in a Polaris. So gear up to make every moment count with the Polaris off-road vehicle. The new Polaris models are now available at Stockman's Motorsports in Yankton. No matter the weather, get ready to tackle all the trails. With machines like these, your world just gets bigger. Stop in at Stockman's Motorsports today to learn more about the epic new Polaris off-road lineup.
And back to the floor after our first quarter. It's been a good one. 15-14 Yankton leads to open the second quarter of action. The Tigers will have the basketball. 8 minutes to go in the first half. Yankton, though, pacing right now. A 60-point game, well over their average. Now on the flip side, Huron is pacing a 56-point game. A 1-point difference here. Tigers with the basketball, moving right to left. Hilton Hines works her way in and bounces it out. A nice job stopping her there. Again, an all-conference player last year, and just fires up a shot. And a foul is going to be called on Yankton, and to the free throw line is Hilton Hines.
Kind of almost feels like a bailout call. The Gazelles had good defense there, and, you know, she kind of just chucked up a shot hoping for the foul. She luckily got it this time.
Knocks in the first to tie it up, and thing is, maybe was a foul, but she definitely did a good job embellishing on it and making sure it was called.
Yeah, it was probably the right call, but it just kind of takes away from that good defense. The Gazelles had that possession.
Next shot doesn't fall, but it does go into the hands of Huron, and Hines back to it into the lane, scores it. She's already up to 8 points in tonight's game. So now a 2-point lead here for Huron. It's tied for their largest lead of their night. For Yankton, they've led by as much as 7. Wolfgram pump fakes it to Nora Kraske from downtown, no. And now a fight down low by the baseline. Is it on Huron or Yankton? If it's on Yankton, it will be on Cooter. They're going to tag it on the Tigers. Hilton Hines gets picked up for it. 1 foul on each side in the second quarter. Again, just a high fouling matchup, and that tells you both teams really feel like this is one they want to take.
Kind of a game both teams need to win if they want to improve their chances to get a good seed for that postseason spot.
Cooter with it, looking for anything, gives it up Wolfgram, who takes 2 screens in a row, finds her way into the lane, falls to the ground, fight for the basketball, jump ball. It'll stay with Yankton. A lot of stoppage of play here so far in the first half. Yankton trails 2, a chance to either tie or take the lead on this possession. 15 on the shot clock. Rao bounces it over, and open Kudera for the lead. Money! Jordan Kudera buries it, and what a start to the night for her. 7 points, and her team with the lead. Up ahead, ball's on the floor, picked off, Jocelyn Elwood. Wolfgram bolts it up ahead, slows things down so her offense can pick it up. Swings it over Rao to Kudera for back-to-back threes, put too much on that one. The Yankton bench might have erupted had Kudera knocked that second 3 in.
Just a little hesitation off of the pass. If she just shot that right away, that's kind of what you want.
On the other side, the Tigers, no score. Rao pulls it in and draws a foul. Engaged right now. Yankton with 2 total rebounds in the game, but they do lead. That doesn't happen much, but right now these teams scoring efficiently and very well. Yankton shooting 44% from the floor, Huron at 50%, and well, all the fouls lead to a lot less rebounds as well.
Well, and it just shows how powerful Yankton's been on the defensive side of the court, getting all them or forcing all them turnovers and scoring points off them turnovers as well.
Kudera pump fakes the 3, drives with it, dishes it out. Now Kraske, that's Sabrina Kraske for the 3. No. And as I said, a lot of free throws. We've seen 12 free throws so far tonight. 8 for Huron, 4 for Yankton. Driving quickly are the Tigers. A short jumper is no good, and knocked to the floor is Nora Kraske as the Tigers pick up another foul. That's 4 in this quarter already, and we saw 10 in the first. Jayla Schley picks up the foul, and now no full court pressure from Huron as, for the most part, Yankton has been able to break it. And it feels like you had that experience against O'Gorman, who might do the best full court press in the entire state. You're definitely prepared coming into this one.
Yeah, they probably drilled it in practice over and over, knowing that their next team they were going to play was going to do a full court press.
And Yankton nearly lost it. Brenna Elwood, an athletic catch there. It looks more like a wide receiver than a basketball player as they've got 10 to shoot here. Nora Kraske thought about the 3, decided against it. Now Wolfgram has it with 5 to shoot. Takes a dribble, steps it back, buries the 3. Eden Wolfgram up to 9 points. 1 triple, 3 twos. Up 4 are the Gazelles, 4:43 to play in our first half of action. Hilton Hines swings it over to Haley Rogers beyond the perimeter. Now up top, Jency Gergen, and Gergen is a player Yankton doesn't want to see with any spacing. Hines with it, right back to Gergen. Thought long and hard about that one, decided against it. 10 to shoot here. Yankton a good defensive set so far. Elwood is all the way out to cover Hilton Hines, who finds a cutter and an open look. What a great play by the Tigers as scoring it there, Allie Davis.
Just great ball movement to come off that pick and roll and find your girl in the lane wide open for the easy basket.
Another look from 3 for Yankton. Sailed over the rim there. Hines with it, a little bump down low, moves it. Carr off the glass, knotted up again. Well, they say basketball a game of runs, and this certainly has been. Every time Yankton feels like they've got a comfortable lead, Huron marches right back into it. Sabrina Kraske out Wolfgram, finds an open Elwood, mid-range jumper off the front iron, it goes. Tigers take over. Whistle will blow, and now a travel. But Gage, as I was talking about rebounds right now, 15 rebounds for Huron, 3 for Yankton. And if you would have told me those were the numbers at this point in the game, I would think that Yankton would be down double digits.
Yeah, the fact that they have this game tied, they're playing really well today. They're shooting pretty good. They're finding open shots. They're doing everything right. They just got to get some baskets off the glass. I mean, they haven't missed too many. Either team hasn't really missed too many, but still, to be out-rebound like that is still nuts.
Brenna Elwood now from downtown off the feed from Wolfgram. Again, an open look that falls off the side of the rim. Tigers with the lead. Haley Rogers wide open, a step back behind the three-point line, and Wells pulls in her first rebound of the night. Wells back in after a quick 2 fouls when she initially came off the bench, and Huron will pick up their 4th team foul of the quarter, and now Yankton might see some bonus free throws to close out the half. Hilton Hines. Nope, it was not on Hines. It was on Harrington, who gets her first personal. Yankton on the inbound. They've got a full shot clock here, as now they're going to say Kudera took a couple extra steps and will travel. Basketball right back over to Huron. Full court press here from Yankton to try and make things tricky. Hines the crossover, or that was Davis actually, gave it up to Hines, and now Rogers steps it to the side. Back up top, Hines. Just over 2 minutes to play, 21 it's tied at. In the lane, whistle blows.
Another foul.
So more free throws. I think we've seen more free throws already tonight than we did all of Tuesday. Now, the thing is, it's not like it's been all on one side. Both teams have about the same amount of fouls right now at this point in the game. So you feel like even though it's some maybe lighter contact, as long as it's even on both sides is all you really care about. And it does kind of feel like it has been. As for the Gazelles, the foul going against Jocelyn Elwood. First free throw knocked in. Davis goes 2 for 2 at the line. And the Tigers up 2. Coming up, our Vichet Yankton halftime show. That will also include our halftime Beyond the Game, which is brought to you by Kalen's Indoor Comfort Heating and Air Conditioning. 2 minutes of game time away from that. Elwood bounces it to Jocelyn Elwood. Wolfgram for the lead off the back iron. Rebound, fight for it, and Cooter got her hands on it, forces the jump ball. Now, it will be Huron basketball, but a great effort by Kudera to flip the possession arrow when this ball gets inbounded. Again, full court pressure for Yankton as Rao checks in place of Brenna Elwood. Kudera works it against Addison Knight. Knight picks up her dribble, has to find something. Ball is knocked free by Kelson Wells, saves it inbounds, and is there a foul? Otherwise, Wolfgram would have had it and a free bucket, but a foul on Huron, and well, that's the 5th foul. That should be bonus free throws unless they're calling this a possession foul.
Yeah, regardless of what it is, it's still a win for Yankton. They keep the possession of the ball. Any other contact from here on out till halftime is going to result in some free shots.
And I guess they're not saying a foul. They're going to say, I'm not really sure how Yankton ended up with the ball there, as Wells maybe got hit on that shot attempt. Didn't get the foul, but Kudera, the offensive rebound, she gets fouled. So felt like a makeup right there. Not as Kudera was also fouled, but feels like, it fell into place for them, as now this should be bonus free throws for Kudera, as Rao was lined up to inbound it. Kudera will get more free throws.
Yeah, you kind of took the words out of my mouth. I was going to say there's contact on both plays there, but that second chance still felt like a makeup call from the refs.
So Jordan Kudera to the free throw line. She's 2 for 4. She shot all of the free throws so far tonight for Yankton. Gets that one to fall. A nice night so far for her. She's up to 8 points. And just on the season, Kudera averages 7 points per game. She's already above that, and we're still in the second quarter with 90 seconds to play.
Looking to tie Wolfgram.
Second one, bounces around, no good. Huron retains the lead. Up ahead they move it. Hilton Hines with it, the crossover to the top of the key. Dishes it out. The three, Abigail Harrington, no. Ball knocked out of bounds, and last touching it there was Gergen of Huron.
Now you have to play chew clock. Run as much time off the clock as you can. If you walk away with a basket or something, you want to be the one to take the last shot here before halftime.
And you can maybe try for a 2-for-1, where you get a shot off late in the shot clock, and then it forces them to not be able to run it totally dry. 65 seconds to play in the half. Eden Wolfgram has it. Quickly moves up to the free throw line, steps it back, and it swirls in and out. Fight for the basketball. Wolfgram right there to scoop it up in an easy layup.
Or, Zach, you can just get a steal and score anyway.
And still, shot clock is on. It's about a 12-second difference. Ball's on the floor, and an offensive foul for Huron. It won't be free throws as it's a possession foul, but a great job by Yankton, who has taken the lead and now has possession. Harrington picks up her second personal. I believe that's foul number 6 on the Tigers so far in the quarter. Yankton only with 2. But that would mean 18 fouls so far in our first half of action between the two teams. Cross side to Wolfgram. Works it to the corner with Wells. Now, Rao had some space. A no-doubter there. As September Rao, her second triple of the night, she's up to 6 points. And now on the other side, Allie Davis misses the short jumper. Nora Kraske the rebound. Yankton a chance for the final shot here. 8 seconds to play in a 4-point lead. Wolfgram downtown for the exclamation point. No. Ball is bounced around. Kudera hits it. Buzzer will sound as we enter our Vichet Yankton halftime show. 27-23. The Gazelles lead it. And a great way to close out that first half. Really feels like they brought a lot of momentum heading into that second half now, Gage.
Yeah, that last minute and a half went really well for the Gazelles. You know, we talked about slowing down, running the shot clock low. They took a shot, fairly early in the shot clock, but it didn't matter. They got a steal, got points after that, forced another turnover on the other side of the court, and they just kept rolling in that last minute and a half.
We enter our Vichet Yankton halftime show on the Fox Stop of Yankton. Scoreboard 27-23, Yankton leads Huron. The Fox Stop at the corner of West City Limits Road and 30th Street, Yankton, a full-service convenience store with hot food, Godfather's Pizza, personal pizza, sandwiches, munchies, and beverages. Pay at the pump, gas and diesel fuel, firewood, and propane exchange. We'll take a break. When we return, the Vichet Yankton halftime show and halftime stats and your halftime beyond the game.
Imagine working for a successful global business with customers in 140 countries. That's Vichet Intertechnology, a Fortune 1000 maker of electronic componentry. Now imagine a company of that size with that kind of stability and a caring family-like environment. Learn more about what you can do at Vichet by visiting VichetCareers.com. Vichet is an equal opportunity employer. Vichet, the DNA of tech.
When you need top-notch appliances that last, trust the experts at Murph's Appliance. From washers and dryers to refrigerators, they have all the trusted brands to keep your home running smoothly. At Murph's, you'll find Maytag appliances built for durability and service you can count on. Whether it's a new oven or a repair, they're there for you every step of the way. Stop on down to Murph's Appliance, your local Maytag dealer in Vermillion. Maytag and Murph's, reliable just like you.
This is your invitation to thrive in Yankton, South Dakota. Nestled on the bluffs of the Missouri River, plenty of outdoor adventures are waiting. Whether you work remote or in a traditional office, we have a spot for you. Quality health care, diverse manufacturing, progressive school system, Mount Marty University, and so much more. Explore with family and friends. Let's thrive together.
I knew I should have had those brakes checked at Graham Tire. It's all about safety. Tire mounting, balancing, wheel alignment, and shocks and struts and batteries, oil changes, and lube service. Graham Tire does these every day, and there's over an acre of tires. Graham Tire has them all, big and small. Tires for cars, trucks, campers, trailers, big rigs, and tracks. Honesty and integrity is a matter of pride since 1951. Graham Tire, Yankton.
Midwest Insurance Agency values family. Our agency has been family-run for over 60 years. We pride ourselves on excellent, knowledgeable customer service. This day and age, everyone is so eager to have an immediate response with a quote. But at Midwest Insurance, we take our time and evaluate your assets and make sure you are properly insured. We take those what-ifs very seriously. As we continue on our family business with hopes of our children, Brooke or Jet, taking over in the future, we will continue to be there for you always. Come be a part of our family. Midwest Insurance Agency, 3016 Piper Street, Yankton.
Welcome to JR's Oasis, your one-stop food and gas shop. Proud to serve Phillips 66 regular, premium, and diesel fuel. After fueling, go inside for slushies and shakes, ice cream cones, and now offering a full line of healthy, chilled items and snacks. JR's hot menu is great for breakfast, lunch, and supper, featuring the famous Hammer Breakfast Sandwich and fresh hand-patty burgers. Try the new Cafe Tango frozen coffees for that extra boost of deliciousness. JR's Oasis, East Highway 50, Yankton.
Now time for the Vishay Yankton Halftime Show. Vishay, define the world's future. Vishay electronic components bring to life the world's most important products. Products that touch lives everywhere, every day. Vishay, building the DNA of tech. Now, back to courtside for all the game trends, stats, and more.
On our Vishay Yankton Halftime Show, 27-23. The Gazelles leading the Huron Tigers here. And just really what a performance it's been so far for Yankton. They had a very nice answer there. Went up 9-2 right away, and Huron just as quickly tied it back up. And then Yankton, it's kind of been a fight back and forth. They closed out with a great 90 seconds. Your halftime stats, Jocelyn Elwood with 2 fouls and a steal. Eden Wolfgram leads the way with 11 points, 1 assist, 1 steal. Also has a foul. Nora Kraske with a foul, 2 points, and a rebound. Jordan Cooter, a nice game, 1 foul, 8 points, 2 steals, 2 rebounds. And September Rouse, 6 points, a rebound, 2 assists, and a steal. She has 1 foul. We've seen Kelson Wells and Sabrina Kraske and Brenna Elwood off the bench. Wells had 2 fouls early, also a rebound, an assist, and a steal. But right now a 4-point lead for Yankton. Just a great first half for them, really, it felt like, Gage.
You know, and we talked about it, pre-game, and it just feels good to be right. We talked about trying to get steals, and, we harped on it the whole first half, so, whoever's listening is probably just sick of us talking about it. But they really did a wonderful job at winning the turnover battle, and they even scored a lot of points off the turnovers. Even that last minute and a half, they didn't make the shot or two they needed to get a big lead. But it didn't matter because they got a steal, they forced a turnover on the defensive side of the court, and they scored off of it, and that's why they're up the 4 points that they are.
And it feels like Yankton has kind of controlled this game, but Huron's kept it close because Yankton, they led as much as 7 for Huron. Their largest lead of the night has been 2. They have not led by multiple possessions, but they've done a nice job just staying with their game, keeping in it. 27-23 at the half. It's now time for your halftime Beyond the Game, brought to you by Kalen's Indoor Comfort Heating and Air Conditioning. When you want comfort, you want Kalen's. Of course, basketball here tonight. Elementary parent-teacher conferences as well from 4 to 8 at Beetle Elementaries. Those are wrapping up. There was the Trailhead Learning Center parent-teacher conferences, 4 to 8 as well. Middle School Science Olympiad Awards Night from 7 to 9 at the Middle School Lecture Hall Theater. Tomorrow, of course, we've got a doubleheader for basketball, and then we've got a debate, a varsity invitational, the Cavalier Invite, into middle school all-state jazz band. High school band will have a quad state honor band at USD. And a high school one-act play parent performance for friends and family, 7 to 8 at the Yankton High School SAC main theater. Into the weekend, that Cavalier Invite debate continues. Middle school all-state jazz band at the Mitchell High School Performing Arts Center. High school band with a quad state honor band at USD. Wrestling, gymnastics as well, and that wraps up the weekend here. So, right now our score 27-23 for the Gazelles, leading over the Huron Tigers. We'll take our final break of the half. When we return, the third quarter of action on the way, all on Yankton, streaming on YouTube.
If you want somebody to come into your home and fix everything right the first time, look professional, act professional, treat you with respect, you gotta call Kaylin's. When they come in, I feel that they want to be there. I feel that they want to help me.
You know, they put on the little booties over their shoes. They had canvas from the garage door all the way down to walk on. They left the furnace room in the basement probably cleaner than it was when they came in.
They just do customer service very well. I would recommend Kaylin's to anyone.
As we continually strive to improve the quality of service we provide the Yankton community, the Garden of Memories Cemetery and Winston Ray Funeral Home are pleased to announce the completion of a brand new columbarium. This columbarium is constructed of granite, designed to withstand the test of time. It is for those families choosing cremation and features above-ground outdoor niches, which includes a bronze plaque to memorialize your loved one, as well as indoor glass front niches where families can create a unique memorial with pictures or other family heirlooms. For more information, please give us a call at the Winston Ray Funeral Home in Yankton.
From simple sniffles to complex health conditions, the primary care providers at Yankton Medical Clinic will not only see you for your annual visits, screenings, and preventative care, but also provides care for the entire family, from pediatrics to adults. With 4 clinic locations and 15 outreach locations throughout South Dakota and Nebraska, compassionate, quality medical care is closer than you think. For more information on providers, services, and locations, visit our website, yanktonmedicalclinic.com.
If you're into hunting, fishing, towing, or just want to blaze the trail, All Seasons has ATVs, UTVs, dirt bikes, and scooters from quality brands like Honda, Yamaha, and CF Moto. Needing watercraft? All Seasons has a large selection of quality boats and wave runners, and we take pride in service after the sale. We have friendly certified technicians that will winterize, summarize, diagnose, and repair your power sports equipment. In business for over 20 years for good reasons. We're All Seasons, Power Sports and Marine in Yankton.
Second half just moments away here on Yankton, streaming on YouTube with the Yankton Gazelles on top of the Huron Tigers, 27-23. Appreciate you tuning in tonight. I'm Zach Spear alongside Gage Ravelette. If you enjoy Yankton Athletics and would like to be notified every time we go live with Yankton Athletics, head to Yankton streaming on YouTube and hit the subscribe button. Then every time we go live, you will be notified as we cover the entire basketball season here. Gazelles lead by 4 to open our second half. They'll also start with the basketball here into the third quarter as we are officially underway on the second half. Gazelles now move it right to left. Eden Wolfgram with the basketball, takes a screen, gives it up Kudera. Kudera gets trapped and is able to find Wolfgram. Cross court, the Gazelles move it. Kraske has it. Zone defense from Huron right now, and it's working well as they're going to call a travel. Round knocked down the shot, but called for a travel, and it'll turn it over for Huron.
I'm so excited for that made basket and an and one opportunity. I jumped the gun a little bit on the scoreboard.
I was thinking to myself as well, you know, possibly 3 points coming up here, but on the other side, Huron a quick score as that one sunk by Chloe Carr. First score of the second half belongs to Huron, who's brought it within 2. 40 seconds into the third quarter. Again, we're seeing a 1-3-1 zone from Huron, and so far it seems to be giving a little trouble to Yankton as Jocelyn Elwood can't find the bottom of the net there. Tigers move the basketball quickly. Ball is knocked free, but right back into their hands. Hines with it, drives it into the lane, looking for anything. Whistle blows, and a travel called here. And that's like we had said, you know, whether you agreed with the route call or not, very similar look on this end. They are calling it evenly, and that's what you can ask for. So travel on each side. Yankton still leads by 2. Again, I want to point out the rebounds. 19 so far for Huron, 6 for Yankton. Jordan Kudera drives it into the lane and found herself in the air, just had to give it up right to the hands of Allie Davis. It went. Tigers looking to tie it up here. Too much on it, but the second chance also no good. The third chance no good. And that's kind of that defense Coach Savvy probably not very happy with. It felt like they kind of gave up and decided, okay, she's got the bucket here, but she missed 3 shots there.
Yeah, if you give your opponent 4 chances every single time, you're going to probably lose every single game. Need to get a rebound.
Elwood finds Kraske, cross-court Wolfgram, a dangerous pass that somehow got through into the lane. Wolfgram moves it. She's fouled on the shot. Free throws coming up. Coach Kaufman not happy with the call. Now, Abigail Harrington picks up her 3rd personal. It's the first foul we've seen on either side in the 3rd quarter. Wolfgram's first free throw attempts. Yankton has shot 6 so far. This will be number 7 and 8 as Wolfgram misses it. And right now, 3 of 7 from the free throw line. For Yankton, it feels like you've got to make the gimmies like this. Tied up at 27 apiece. Wolfgram goes 0 for 2. Now 3 for 8 are the Gazelles at the free throw line. A chance for a 2-point lead, and instead we are tied up yet on a travel here. Addison Knight, she saw that opening. I think she just got a little too excited. Saw a wide open lane and just took a couple steps before the dribble.
Yeah, sometimes you just get one step ahead of yourself, like you said, a little excited for that open basket, and that's when you pick a foot up.
Yankton with it. Wolfgram had it poked free over to Elwood. Elwood, the short jumper off the front iron and the bounce. Wolfgram able to get the steal. What a play. Crosses over down low and can't get the layup. Gets her own rebound. Misses the next attempt and knocks the ball out of bounds. And again, Gage, kind of feels like one of those gimmies that you've just got to get to go.
Yeah, you know, it looks like the Gazelles had rhythm back in that first half, but coming out of half, there's no rhythm on their shots. They need to find that groove they found in that first half to pull this one out.
And a big part of that is a nice call by Coach Kaufman, an adjustment he made is that 1-3-1 zone. Didn't see that at all in the first half, and right now it's working well against Yankton. Foul's going to be called here on the Gazelles, and it goes against Rao. Her second personal, team's first, as the fouling has certainly slowed down here in the 3rd quarter. Again, we came into this quarter, this second half overall, with 18 foul calls. Only 2 so far in the first 2.5 minutes of play. In the 3rd, Tigers with it. Again, a chance for the lead. Allie Davis gives it up. Hilton Hines at the elbow. Nearly had it pickpocketed, but able to give it up to Gergen. Gergen with Kudera all over her. 10 to shoot here for the Tigers. Davis works against Rao. What defense? Shot denied! September Rao, the rejection. Yankton brings it on the other side. Kraske wants the 3. No good. And Yankton has shot a lot of three-pointers here tonight. 4 of 15 as Hines gets into the lane. Her shot no good. Offensive rebound and laid in for the lead from Jayla Schley.
Another offensive rebound and another basket for Huron. It's just that same problem we've seen earlier here in the 3rd.
And a timeout called by Coach Savvy of the Gazelles. Another Lindsay Echo Water Systems of Yankton Water break. We'll take it with them. 29-27, Huron leads.
Do you like to read? I love to read. So does Raven Books, your unique bookstore in Yankton, where you'll find thousands of books from brand new to gently used oldies but goodies, all at unbeatable prices. Trade in your old favorites for credit and be able to explore something new. Whether you're a casual reader or a bookworm, Raven Books is your next chapter, located at 804 Bill Baggs Road. Raven Books, where every book finds a home.
Weather around here gets pretty crazy. Are you sure the weather hasn't caused damage to your roof? Let Justice at H&H Roofing in Yankton take any roof damage worries away. He'll come and inspect your roof. Even if you've had an inspection, get a second opinion or re-inspection for your peace of mind. H&H Roofing has built their reputation on working to satisfy homeowners for years. Family owned and operated. H&H Roofing is bonded and insured. Contact Justice today.
4:25 to play in our third quarter of action. It's 29-27 for the Tigers. Yankton has not scored yet in the second half yet, 3.5 minutes in, and Coach Savvy calling a timeout and certainly would like to see a little change here from his squad. They've had some good looks, and they just have not fallen. Yankton shooting at 32% from the floor right now. A screen from Elwood now, corner three. Kudera for the first score, rims again in and out. A tough miss there for Yankton. It's a good look, just couldn't get it to fall. Davis with it, trying to work it into the lane. Ball is poked free, ball's on the ground. Players hitting the floor. It stays with the Tigers. Hilton Hines has it, draws two defenders immediately, swings it out Davis. Davis brings it baseline, had some room, tough bucket there. This third quarter has been dominated by Huron, outscoring Yankton 7-0. Wolfgram trying to change that, gets the foul, and free throws coming up.
She went 0 for 2 last time. She needs to make them here at this trip to the line.
And right now, Yankton at the free throw line is shooting 3 for 8 compared to 7 for 10 from Huron. And right now, that's the difference in the game. 4 free throws, it's a 4-point game. Wolfgram knocks in the first. Brings it back down to a one-possession game. And a 3-point lead now for Huron. Wolfgram's next attempt also good. As now they've improved back up to 50% from the free throw line. But again, you want to see a bump up from that number as well. It's been all Jordan Kudera and Wolfgram at the line as Davis gets stopped and looking for anything. Coach Kaufman forced to call a timeout to save his team from turning the basketball over. Only a 30-second break will keep it here, Gage. But Yankton right now, 2 points so far in the third quarter and outscored 7-2 to open. And they opened up, outscored 9-2. They outscored Huron, though. Now can Yankton kind of get back to their rhythm and kind of survive this? They ride the waves. It can be a hit-and-miss team. Can they take these lows and end up with a high?
You know, they just got to find the rhythm. You know, you ask me, how do they find the rhythm? I'm no basketball expert. They just got to keep getting small wins on the defensive side of the court. They keep forcing turnovers. It's going to come as the half goes on. They just got to keep putting shots up, keep trusting their offense that Savvy has installed for them, and eventually it's going to come throughout the fourth.
Huron to re-inbound out of the timeout called by Coach Kaufman, and Hilton Hines will bring it down the floor. Yankton will not pressure her until she hits half court. Hines gets the screen on to Kraske, drives, had a good look, and the rebound poked free. It was in the hands of the Tigers. Wolfgram did a nice job of grabbing it and draws another foul. And Haley Rogers picks up her second. And here's the thing. Both Hilton Hines and Abigail Harrington with 3 fouls for Huron. It's something to keep an eye on. For Yankton, multiple players with 2 fouls, but none with 3. Fouls could be a huge factor come the end of this game.
You know, outside of that first quarter, the Gazelles have been really disciplined.
Kraske buries the triple, but as you were saying, they've been disciplined and have not fouled much in the second and third quarters. Hilton Hines, well, as we say, Hilton Hines, no, Hines is going to pick up a charge. That's her 4th foul, Gage.
You know, it looked like a charge to me, but I'm watching it through a little screen, so I would have been all right with a blocking call. I'm kind of glad the Gazelles picked up the charge there, or drew the charge, I should say.
In such a tough position to be in as an official, if it's a charge or a blocking foul. Of course, whoever you call it on usually is going to say, no, that was incorrect. But the Gazelles get it this time, and that is the 4th foul against Huron in this quarter with 2:50 to play. A foul leads to Yankton free throws, even if it's not a shooting foul. Wolfgram finds some room into the lane, can't get it finished. Tried fighting for her own offensive rebound, but now a 4-on-2 for the Tigers as they want to move it quickly. Allie Davis pump fakes the 3, drives it down low, they move it, a bump and a score there. Abigail Harrington puts her team up 1. 33-32, Tigers lead the Gazelles. Yankton needs to take advantage of these non-Hilton Hines minutes. Rao with it, trying to drive it, dishes it out. Wolfgram, the 3, bounces around and out. Rao got her hands on it, ripped it away, but just too late. Jump ball, it's Tiger basketball. Kelson Wells checking in for Yankton, and headed to the bench will be Jocelyn Elwood. But again, Hilton Hines still on the bench. Yankton needs to absolutely capitalize when she is not on the floor.
Yeah, yes they do. They're pretty much in the bonus.
And now an unforced turnover, bounced off the official gauge, so it technically didn't go out of bounds. You'll never see that again this season, I bet. Out to Rao, way downtown, the swish! September Rao, her 3rd 3 of the night, up to 9 points. Yankton in control, ball taken away, and a foul! Jordan Cooter the steal, and she'll have free throws.
And, you know, like I was saying, they just had to keep making them small wins on the defensive side of the court, and eventually that offensive game plan is starting to fall into the pieces of the puzzle.
Well, we wanted to see Yankton get up to double-digit steals in the game. They're already at 9 with 1:43 to play in the third, and that's why they've been able to overcome that rebound deficit. It's because they're forcing lots of turnovers for Huron. Kudera at the free throw line right now. A pair of free throws. She could make it a 2-possession game. First one is good. That is her 4th free throw made of the night in 7 attempts. Brenna Elwood checks in for Yankton. And in for Huron is Jayla Schley. Yankton leads 3, no Hilton Hines on the floor. You'd love to see them bump that up heading into the 4th quarter as Kudera makes the next. Yankton back, leading by 4. Up ahead, the Tigers move it into the hands of Allie Davis. Davis, her pass, a little dangerous, but Gergen pulled it in. Was nearly a turnover again for the Tigers offense. Davis will give it up. Addison Knight. Ball nearly stripped away. Kelson Wells maybe got caught with her hand in the cookie jar. 3rd foul for her in the game.
Yeah, sometimes it's good to jump lanes like that, but, you know, as you've seen, sometimes you get a little caught up in it. Your hand gets, you know, stuck, and unfortunately you draw the foul there.
Those are the fouls I always like to say coaches don't mind as much as on the inbound, wide open. A nice move by Jayla Schley. But as I was saying, those are plays that your coach doesn't hate the fouls so much. It's an effort. It's a hustle play. Didn't go your way this time. You know, next time you hope it does. Wolfgram gives it up. Brenna Elwood. Elwood has some spacing, but now a defender right on her loses the basketball. Tigers come away with the basketball, and now a foul, I believe, on Brenna Elwood. So now 8 fouls in this quarter. I was saying how it was kind of a clean quarter to play. We're up to 26 fouls combined on the squads here. Tigers look to break this full court pressure of Yankton. They won't. Wolfgram pulls it in for a steal, and Yankton's got double digits in the steal category. A foul on Huron and more free throws for the Gazelles. Wolfgram and Cooter have combined for 6, and the remaining 4 from Jocelyn Elwood, September Rao, and Kelson Wells. Wolfgram at the line. She's got 13, now 14 after that one falls.
You know, she missed that first 2, and since then, I'm pretty sure, I don't have the stats in front of me, but she has been perfect.
And that is 4 now in a row for Wolf Graham. We didn't get the broadcasting curse.
Yeah, I was just going to say, if she missed that last one because of me, I would have felt really bad.
You're apologizing to the city of Yankton. With the basketball, Tigers do get across, and now dealing with some high-energy defense from Yankton, and looked like the shot was deflected. Wells pulls in the rebound, and Yankton takes over on offense. Yankton a chance to extend the lead. Kudera downtown, yes! Jordan Kudera knocks down the triple, her second of the night. Wolf Graham her third assist, and Yankton in control with a 7-point lead. Wells right there, a nice job getting her hands off so she didn't get the foul. Whistle will blow. Who's it on? Is it another foul on Brenna Elwood? I believe so. It will be, and that is foul number 5 on Yankton. Both teams in bonus in the third quarter. 2 quarters now already with 10-plus fouls. First one is no good, as at the free throw line, Jayla Schley.
She missed the first one. You could argue that's a good foul, as they won't get 2 points at least.
And the second one does go. 16 seconds to play in the third quarter. Yankton can take the last shot. As of now, lead 6. They can build upon it. As you can imagine, Hilton Hines is coming out in the fourth quarter to start. Step back triple. Wolf Graham. Money! Aiden Wolf Graham, what a move. A second left, a half court. He falls short. Yankton is at their biggest lead as we've got a replay of Eden Wolfgram that's brought to you by Yankton Winnelson, second generation family owned and supporting the local community, including Yankton Athletics since 1981. Wolfgram up to 18, Gazelles lead 45-36, 8 minutes to play here in Huron. What a great game we've got going, exclusively on Yankton, streaming on YouTube.
Dive into the delicious all-you-can-eat Asian buffet, featuring mouth-watering Asian cuisine like broccoli beef, general chicken, sesame chicken, so much more. Or choose from a fresh selection of meats, noodles, rice, vegetables, Asian-inspired sauces, and watch them sizzle on the Mongolian grill. Plus tantalizing desserts, including ice cream. Get your fill at King Buffet and Mongolian Grill, North Broadway, Yankton.
24 minutes, and there's my slider on my volume. 24 minutes of play in, as leading the game is the Gazelles. 45-36, 8 minutes to play. We've had some, they've got a Jumbotron at the Tiger Arena with some interesting graphics. You don't expect to see the dancing banana.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever seen a dancing banana. You know, I'm not against the dancing banana idea, but not something I had on my bingo card.
I gotta say, threw me a little off my game. Gazelles open the fourth quarter with the basketball, a 9-point lead, and a great chance to take home their third win of the season over a good 5-6 Huron team. Rao kicks it to Wolfgram in the corner, now trapped, has to give it up to Kudera up top. Kudera, Rao wants another three, fouled on the shot. A closeout foul on Huron. And is that Hilton Hines? No, it's not. It's Abigail Harrington, but now her fourth personal. So they're going to inbound the basketball, Gage. I got to say, I'm a little lost. I might have missed entirely where the foul was called. If it's on the floor, I thought it was a closeout foul on the shot attempt, which still, if you don't give a landing zone for the shooter, is a shooting foul. But either way, Harrington and Hines both with 4 fouls for Huron, and now another whistle will blow. Tigers pick up their second right away.
Yeah, she kind of just ran through the screen there. Not really the mistake you want if you're the Tigers, but unfortunate turn of events.
Addison Knight now picks up her third personal, so really fouling has been the story of tonight. And right now Yankton's winning that battle. Into the corner they move it. Kudera, she gets trapped. Again, a good job by that zone and a travel called here on Kudera. It turns the basketball over. Huron basketball. Hilton Hines is on the court. as now the ball just bounced straight up off of Rao's face, goes out of bounds. It'll be Yankton basketball as the Tigers tried saving it. Hines fell. Rao wasn't expecting it. Ball just bounced straight off of her head, went out of bounds. I don't think Huron really needed to try to save that one.
Yeah, I don't know what the confusion was. I thought it was clearly off of Rao's face, but maybe the Huron Tiger seen Kudera go after it, and you said, yeah, we got to follow that.
So Yankton takes over an offense. What a first 30 seconds we've had of this fourth quarter. Kudera gets the inbound out to Rao. On the three, she's got another. September Rao, automatic from downtown tonight. 4 threes for September Rao, and her team leads by 12, the largest of the night. Tigers on offense, working it, trying to work their way into this one. Coach Kaufman not happy with his squad as we've got a replay brought to you by Yankton Winnelson of that Rao triple. And I believe Jordan Kudera just picked up her second personal. No, Jocelyn Elwood, excuse me. I thought he said number 13, and now Kudera is going to pick up a foul. A shooting foul, and we're up to 5 fouls, Gage, in the first minute of the fourth quarter.
I'm not even going to put the blame on. There's been a lot of fouls in the game today. That whole first 30 seconds, 45 seconds was probably the weirdest stretch of basketball I've seen in a while. So I'm just going to ignore that first 45 seconds, and we're going to move on to the rest of the game.
Addison Knight misses the first of 2 free throws. And like you said, that's not on the officials. They're calling the right calls right now. 3 on Huron, 2 on Yankton. And the second one, nothing but net. But it's been a crazy fourth quarter to start. We're 1 minute in. 7 minutes to play. Yankton up 11. Gazelles would love to just continue scoring, keep a big lead here. It's too early to start draining the clock. Wolfgram into the lane, loses the basketball, taken away by the Tigers. They want to move it quickly. Addison Knight able to corral a little bit of a wilder pass as Allie Davis now works against Rao. They work it in to the lane. Knight with it. Somehow slid by the defender. Just a nice move on offense for an easy 2, and feels like Huron building just a little momentum here in the fourth.
Yeah, luckily the Gazelles have built such a big lead throughout that third quarter. They can afford to go on a little drought here to start the fourth, but they can't go on a drought the whole fourth quarter.
Timeout called by Coach Savia. Lindsay Echo Water Systems of Yankton Water Break. We'll be back in 30 seconds.
Do you realize what your Yankton Hy-Vee has to offer? Aisles online, delivery, catering, fresh floral and bakery departments, pharmacy with drive-up, and online prescription refills, Hy-Vee Health Market, dietitian service, fresh seafood department, U.S. Postal Substation, take and bake for breakfast, and family meal deals. Yes, all that and more is at your Yankton Hy-Vee, located on the corner of 21st Street and Broadway Avenue in Yankton.
6:16 to play here on the floor. Coach Savvy calling the timeout to keep the ball with his team. 26 on the shot clock. Gazelles right now, you don't want to get complacent is the thing. Yes, you lead by 9, but you want to stay aggressive. You want to continue scoring. You don't want to just use clock and hope that on the other side Huron doesn't score. Wolfgram with it, brings it up to the top, dishes it out. The three-pointer, Nora Kraske, no good. And Kudera pulls in an offensive rebound. The possession stays alive for Yankton. Kudera leads her squad now with 3 boards. Kraske hands it off Wolfgram. Wolfgram fouled down low. And I believe that is the 4th foul on Huron tonight. And Hilton Hines has just fouled out of the game, Gage.
And we still have a whole fourth quarter to play.
And that could spell doom for the Tigers. Without Hilton Hines, an all-conference player, and was a honorary mention on the All-State team last season, as she averages just shy of 20 points per game, and her night ends early. Yankton's got to feel good about where they're at right now. Gazelles 2 inbounded here. Elwood the bounce, a dangerous pass there to Rao. And Wolfgram will take it, and she'll set up the offense. Moves the opposite side of the screen. They keep it from the perimeter. Elwood out to Kudera. Now a bounce into Wolfgram. Wolfgram tears towards the lane, and she's fouled. Free throws coming up. No, it's going to be an offensive foul on Wolfgram.
Yeah, that was kind of perfect scenario for the Gazelles. They get in the lane. They put up a shot. Wolfgram goes to the line. Oh, never mind. I guess I'm wrong. I thought it was a shooting foul on Huron. Never mind everything I just said.
And now on the flip side from the perimeter, no good on the shot attempt. Wolfgram saves it into the hands of Jocelyn Elwood. Now Kudera up ahead on the floor.
You know, Zach, there's perks to watching it on the computer screen. I can say I didn't see everything if something bad happened, but you know, sometimes I just miss the call entirely.
It's all right. I was thinking it was a shooting foul as well, but I'm not going to disagree with the charge as Wolfgram drives to the lane. No good on the shot. Gets her own rebound, though. 6 to shoot here for Yankton, and a whistle will blow, and now we'll get a foul on Huron yet again. Right now, I believe we are at 36 total game fouls. We might hit 40 in tonight's game.
You know, now I can finally say it. This was perfect for the Gazelles. They put the Tigers, or the Gazelles get into the bonus, put the Tigers into the 5-foul range here in the fourth, and we still have over half the quarter to play. A lot of free throws coming up for the Gazelles, hopefully, to rack up some more points on this lead.
Floor made up of Wolfgram, Rao, Jordan Kudera, Nora Kraske, and Jocelyn Elwood. As Kudera's first free throw does fall. She's made 6 tonight. 4 made by Wolfgram. The two have combined for 10 free throws out of 15 attempts. That number is shot up to 67% after they were 3 for 8. And now a miss as once again the broadcasting curse hits as Allie Davis puts the ball on the floor. And I think maybe Kudera had a foot out of bounds while she had a hand on the basketball, which will keep it with, oh, they're going to call a foul on it. Excuse me. Jordan Kudera picked up the foul, as she has now got 3 in the game. 37 total fouls in the game.
You know, Zach, I have an excuse for being wrong. You don't.
As Rao tries saving it, threw it off of a Tiger. They're going to say she was out of bounds on it. Four and a half to play here in tonight's action. Can Yankton hang on for a victory tonight? Abigail Harrington bounces it down low in the post, off the glass. Tough shot, no good there by Schley. Kudera pulls it in. And with each defensive stop Yankton gets, it just feels like they can get a little closer to tasting that victory. Wolfgram gets stopped, gives it up. Rao, her 5th 3 of the night, misses, and Gergen pulls it in. The student section in Rao's ear about it, but she's already made 4 threes tonight. That's a tough play to really be in her ear. Ball sailed out of bounds. Huron thought maybe Kudera touched it. She was jumping. She was reaching for it. Didn't realize it was going to sail out of bounds, and now they're going to change the call and say it's Tiger basketball. Now the Yankton crowd not so thrilled about the call.
You know, no matter what the call is, nobody's going to be happy with it. Or not everyone's going to be happy with it. The winning team is going to be happy, of course, but you just have to try your best to make the right call, and I believe they did.
Gergen, dead on triple, her 3rd of the night, ice cold. She has just been on fire from downtown. She has kept her team in this game. Honestly, felt like just as much as Hilton Hines when she was in the game. Her 3rd triple of the night brings Huron within 7. 3:58 to play. This game is certainly not over. A timeout called by Coach Kaufman of the Tigers. We'll take a 30-second break. When we return, the second half of our 4th quarter, all on Yankton, streaming on YouTube. Larson Carpet has all your flooring needs. Step into their showroom to see a wide selection of all types of flooring. They have soft and luxurious carpet that's sure to bring comfort to your home. Stylized tile to make any room pop. Different color options of hardwood to make matching easy. And convenient vinyl plank for when spills happen. Of course, with the best customer service in the area. Their knowledgeable staff will make sure to answer any questions you might have. Larson Carpet, 212 Walnut. Back to the floor, 3:58 to play on a Thursday night. Yankton inching closer to their third win, but they've still got to take care of business here tonight. They have been led by 3 players, Eden Wolfgram, Jordan Kudera, and September Rao. 18 for Wolfgram, 14 for Kudera, and 12 for September. That's 44 of the 45 points for Yankton from those 3 players. Yankton with possession of the basketball and a bobble on the handoff, nearly another Yankton turnover, as really this Huron defense has played well as of late. Up to the top is Rao to Wolfgram, 15 seconds to shoot yet. Jocelyn Elwood brings it into the lane, out to Wolfgram. Huron not giving any space, some room there. Wolfgram is fouled on the attempt. Free throws coming up.
You know, maybe a light foul there, but there was a little body contact, so I can see the call by the refs.
And the thing is, you feel like probably got to call it too, because otherwise, had she not been fouled, it's a travel. But the travel caused by some contact. Wolfgram swirls in and out on the free throw. As we are 2 fouls short of 40 right now in the game, Gage. As Wolfgram gets it in, she is 1 point away from a 20-point performance. Her team leads 8. 3:25 to play in the fourth. Moving the ball down the floor, Allie Davis. She's done most of the ball handling, and Wolfgram caught with looked like they were going to call a foul, just knocked it out of bounds. So we will stay put, just an inbound for the Tigers. Chloe Carr gives it up to Abigail Harrington. Harrington cross court. Gergen wants another. She'll get another. Jency Gergen, have yourself a night. 12 points all off of 3-pointers. Brings her team within 5, 3 minutes to play. Wolfgram doing what she can. Can't get the shot to fall, but she's able to cause an offensive rebound for Nora Kraske. Yankton kind of feels like they're just hanging on right now and hoping Huron's not going to come out with a great comeback. Whistle will blow, and now an offensive foul or a 3-second violation. Coach Savvy not happy with the officials, and he's going to let them hear about it.
Yeah, I don't know what the call quite was. I mean, of course, it favors Huron as the whole place erupted. I can't really decipher what the ref's seen there.
So they're going to say no foul. Was it a 3-second in the lane violation? I didn't see an official call or a hand signal, so we'll just have to scratch our heads on that one. For the 1-point game, no, or 2-point game, and knocked out of bounds. They're going to say last touch by Chloe Carr. Now the Huron crowd is unhappy with officials, and I tell you what, I wouldn't want to be the officials tonight. It's a dirty job. Somebody's got to do it. And there is a large crowd reaction. Boo birds flying from the crowd. It's Yankton basketball.
This is where the Gazelles need to slow it down, get back in track after that flurry of calls in that last 10 seconds. They need a basket here to stay on top.
With it, September Rao brings it up to the top now. Kudera. Kudera has some lane. She's fouled. Free throws coming up. We are 1 foul short of our 40th of the night, Gage.
I believe we'll get there.
It certainly feels like it with a 5-point game, 2 minutes to play. At the free throw line, Jordan Kudera, as Allie Davis picked up her third. Kudera no good on that attempt. Gazelles now down to 6 for 11, just barely over 50% at the charity stripe. Got a great game tonight, though, here on a Thursday. Kudera's next attempt does fall. She has made 7 tonight. She's got 15. As we now cross the 2-minute mark, 51-45, Yankton leads Huron. A fantastic game so far tonight. Tigers needing scores here. Way downtown, Gergen, another! Jency Gergen has made this a one-possession game. She is out of her mind and cannot miss. 51-48, Yankton leads, and now a timeout for Coach Savvy. I can't believe what I'm seeing, Gage, is Jency Gergen has totally brought her team right back into this one. Every three she's made has had a hand right in her face.
Yeah, I know they haven't made every shot here down the stretch, but they made every shot that matters. And that's why it's a 3-point game, and they're on the verge of taking the lead right back.
A Lindsay Echowater Systems of Yankton water break called by Savvy. His team will have 24 to shoot when the ball is inbounded. If I'm the Gazelles, I am hounding Gergen from the half-court line. She is getting zero separation, and when she steps up, gets near that three-point line, if the ball is in her hands, you throw a double on her. She is just lights out from downtown. Her last two just decided, you know what, I've made a few tonight, might as well launch it. 15 points for her. She leads her team in scoring. That's all off of three-pointers. And when the Gazelles started pulling away in that first half, it was Gergen who knocked down triples to get her team right back into it. A one-possession game. Yankton led by double digits earlier.
Yeah, and it's just shocking how well she shot the three ball here down the stretch to keep her team in it. And, one or two of those, and she's going to have her team in a beautiful possession to steal this one late.
So the Gazelles with it, really looking to get a bucket here. Came away with 1 point on their last possession off a free throw. 12 to shoot here as Kudera has it stripped away. Ball is into the hands of the Tigers. They've got a chance to tie it on this possession with 75 seconds to play. Driving, Allie Davis, high off the glass, scores it. We are down to a 1 point game here tonight at Huron Arena. Gazelles with the basketball and clinging on to a 1 point lead. 51-50, under a minute to play. We could see extra minutes in this one. Elwood gives it up, Wolfgram. Wolfgram looking for a screen from Wells, brings it the other side, brings it back out beyond the perimeter. Takes another screen, this time driving it, kicks it out. Jocelyn Elwood into the corner three. Jordan Kudera the answer, off the back iron. A 3-second difference between shot and game clock. Huron a chance to take the lead, but not paying attention. Ball's on the ground. Gage, this might be the most ridiculous finish to a game as we pick up our 40th foul.
Yeah, I don't know what the call was. I was waiting to see if it was a jump ball or foul.
It is a foul, and judging by the crowd's initial reaction, it's on Huron. And that was just that was an unprovoked turnover there.
It's a little miscommunication trying to bring the ball up the court.
31.5 seconds to play. Yankton leads by 1. They cannot make this a two-possession game, but Kudera at the free throw line.
She needs to make both.
She's been at the free throw line for over 10 attempts. Misses the first, and that just gives Huron a chance for a game winner here. With how Gergen's been shooting, you gotta keep an eye on her. Kudera, the next attempt, does drop. 31.5 seconds to play here. Tigers with the basketball, trailing 2. Gazelles need a defensive stop here, and they need it bad. Harrington, her pass tipped. Jordan Kudera gets it. Yankton just needs to hang on to the basketball. Kudera dishes it out. Wells now to Wolfgram. And a foul here as Jayla Schley throws Wolfgram to the floor. Yankton just needs to make free throws to win this game. Unfortunately, shooting 50% from the line. Or excuse me, I thought it was 11 for 22, 13 of 22, but still just barely above 50% is Yankton. Wolfgram steps up. She can ice this game with free throws. First is good. Wolfgram 20 points. To make it a two-possession game, yes, Wolfgram is up to 21. 15 free throws made between Jordan Cooter and Eden Wolfgram. 54-50, a 4-point game. Tigers need 2 buckets, and they need them quick. On offense, 10 seconds to play. They hand it off. Harrington, no shot. Rao gets a hand on it, forces a jump ball. It'll stay with Huron, but right now you got to think 4.3 seconds to play. Is that even enough time to quick make a shot, foul, and get another attempt up? And now a timeout for Coach Savvy. It's our final break we'll take of the game. A Lindsay Echo Water Systems of Yankton water break. A full timeout. We'll take it and be back. 54-50 Yankton leads. 4.3 seconds to play on Yankton, streaming on YouTube.
Looking for a photo that actually looks like you, but better? At Meridian Photo, we specialize in capturing personality, not just poses. Whether it's headshots, high school seniors, family sessions, or team and individual sports photos, we'll make you look like a legend. We've just landed in the Meridian District of Yankton. Book your session today at meridian-photo.com or give us a call at 605-655-4598. Meridian Photo. Be you. You deserve it.
Kaiser Heating and Cooling is your hometown team specializing in all things heating and cooling, as well as heat and glow gas, wood, and electric fireplaces, humidifiers and dehumidifiers, and all styles of ductless mini-split systems. Whether you are building or remodeling, our team of innovative experts will get you the correct equipment and indoor air quality accessories you need for your home or business. Remember, Kaiser Heating and Cooling is your hometown team for all things heating and cooling for the past 77 years. Go Bucks and Gazelles.
As we return to the floor just in time for the final 4 seconds, inbounding Huron. They trail 54-50. And the attempt here, too much on the 3, rebound for Jocelyn Elwood, and that will be the end of this one, Gage. 54-50, Yankton wins and advances to 3-7 on the season. Your final score, 54-50. Yankton pulls away with a big win. Huron will drop to 5-7. That might have been the most hectic fourth quarter I've ever watched in my life.
Yeah, the Tigers put up a good fight right down the stretch. I almost thought they were going to come back and win it. Just a few unfortunate moments right at the end to help the Gazelles pull it off. We'll have your post-game stats coming up here, as well as your First Dakota National Bank post-game show. Your hot hands of the game brought to you by Kaiser Heating and Cooling of Yankton. And then we'll see if our chat with either Coach Savvy or one of the assistants. It's all coming up here on Yankton, streaming on YouTube.
Your local KFC Taco Bell at 2504 Fox Run Parkway in Yankton offers 2 menus combined into one. Something for everyone at KFC Taco Bell. When your family's hungry and can't decide between crispy chicken and mashed potatoes or tacos, burritos, and protein bowls, well, you don't have to choose. Get the best of both worlds in one stop. Cool down with the legendary Baja Blast Freeze or heat things up with a variety of hot sauces. KFC Taco Bell Yankton. Why pick one when you can have both?
Interior technicians.
Jerry, I need your help. I'm in a real pickle.
How can we help? We clean carpets, furnace and duct cleaning, mold remediation, fire restoration, water damage restoration, office cleaning, and much more.
No, Jerry, I'm in a real pickle. I'm stuck and I can't get out. Hang on, I'll send you a pic so you can see what I mean.
Oh my gosh. When you need it clean, call the Intech team. Fixing pickles since 1984.
What does FloorTech do? When disaster strikes, water damage, mold growth, or fire cleanup,
Call the team you can trust, FloorTech Cleaning and Restoration. They respond fast to protect your home or business and restore it the right way with honesty, integrity, and top-notch service. Their crews proudly serve southeast South Dakota and northeast Nebraska, including Yankton, Mitchell, Norfolk, and Sioux Falls. For 24/7 emergency service, call 800-507-1822. If your home or floor is wet, call FloorTech or visit them at floortechrestoration.com.
Pied Piper Flowers and Gifts on the corner of 15th and Broadway in Yankton. Your full-service flower and gift store. Beautiful fresh flower arrangements to artificial arrangements. Gifts, sympathy, foodie items to snarky gifts. Stop by and let the gals at Pied Piper give you the personal service you deserve. Brighten your day and head to Pied Piper Flowers and Gifts, where you'll find something new every time you go. Pied Piper Flowers and Gifts Yankton, they deliver.
Hi, it's Linda at Linda's Angel Crossing in Yankton. I carry Tribal, Lulu Bee, Ethel, Southern Lady, and Old Ranch. I have other brands too. The nursery has everything you need for babies. Copper pearl bibs, magnetic sleepers, swaddlers, bag sleepers, and baptism. Toddler clothing, boys and girls Under Armour to size 7, toys, little golden books, and other unique kids' toys. Linda's Angel Crossing, 1101 Broadway in Yankton.
At Anytime Fitness Yankton, your fitness journey starts with one step, and Anytime Fitness will be with you every step of the way. Open 24 hours a day with top-of-the-line equipment and guidance you need to reach your goals. Plus, your membership gives you access to every Anytime Fitness gym anywhere. No matter your goals, no matter the time, you belong at Anytime Fitness Yankton, located at 2509 Fox Run Parkway. Start today at Anytime Fitness, where your fitness journey never stops.
And back for our First Dakota National Bank of Yankton post-game show. First Dakota has proudly supported the dreams and banking needs of their customers for over 150 years. They offer personal, business, and ag banking solutions for every stage of your journey, with 2 locations downtown and North Broadway, Yankton. Gazelles come away with a big win here tonight in Huron, 54-50. Your final stats: Jocelyn Elwood with 3 rebounds, an assist, and a steal. Eden Wolfgram, the leading scorer, with 21 points, 3 rebounds, 3 assists, 3 steals. Nora Kraske had 5 points and 2 rebounds. Jordan Kudera with 16 points, 4 rebounds, 1 assist, and 4 steals. September Rao finishes it with 12 points, 1 rebound, 2 assists, 2 steals, and a block. And then off the bench, Kelson Wells chipped in 2 rebounds, 1 assist, 1 steal. We also saw Sabrina Kraske and Brenna Elwood on the floor. Gazelles combined for 54 points. I've got them at 15 rebounds only in tonight's victory. 8 assists. 11 steals. They hit that double-digit mark, which we said was going to be very important here tonight. 1 block, 16 fouls, which means 25 on Huron. We counted for 41 fouls in tonight's game. A great performance for Yankton, and again, a huge win to try and bump them up in the standings in AA. It's a quick turnaround, though. They got to host Brandon Valley, the Lynx, tomorrow. The undefeated Brandon Valley Lynx, in a doubleheader, which we will have on Classic Hits 106.3 in Yankton, streaming on YouTube tomorrow night. It's time for your Hot Hands of the Game, brought to you by Kaiser Heating and Cooling of Yankton. Yankton's original and most trusted heating and cooling professionals for over 76 years. Kaiser Heating and Cooling, 808 West 23rd Street of Yankton. Well, tonight, you really could give it to one of 3 players: September Rao, Jordan Kudera, and Eden Wolfgram. For tonight, I do feel like back-to-back winning hot hands of the game is Eden Wolfgram, as she led the way with 21 points. She was our hot hands of the game last time the Gazelles were on the floor, but really felt like when it came down to needing buckets, Eden Wolfgram came up big for her team.
Yeah, there's moments down the stretch where, the Gazelles needed a basket, and Wolfgram kind of just went into star mode and just took over the game. At the end of the first half, that's the biggest spot I remember. She made 2 back-to-back baskets, and they weren't easy baskets. She just drove in the lane, through the contact around the defenders, making it look way too easy, something I couldn't go do on the court. She's probably a little bit better at basketball than I ever will be, but she made it look pretty easy tonight through all 4 quarters of the game.
You might be selling yourself high there.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Wolfgram, a heck of a player. I know I certainly couldn't keep up on the floor with her at all. She's our Kaiser Heating and Cooling of Yankton hot hands of the game. We do see some players on the floor as well as some coaches. We'll see. I'm guessing we will get Coach Savvy tonight. Either that or it looked like Jill Muth, as we talked with Jill Muth in our last post-game chat. But again, tomorrow, both Bucks and Gazelles in action at home in a doubleheader against Brandon Valley on Classic Hits 106.3 in Yankton, streaming on YouTube. Gazelles start the night at 6 o'clock. We'll be live at 5:30 with our pregame. It'll be, well, myself, Zach Spear, and Gage Ravelette on the call yet again. So, Gage, you're going to get another look at the Gazelles on the floor. But what a great game to be a part of tonight, where Yankton, it was a game of swings and runs, as basketball is, but really, an impressive performance for the Gazelles.
Yeah, it really was. I'm excited to watch them tomorrow. Hopefully play just as good, and that would be an even bigger win against undefeated Brandon Valley. So I can't wait to see that one tomorrow, and, this was a treat.
And now making his way over here is head coach Blake Savvy of the Yankton Gazelles. And, Coach, what a performance from your team. That might have been the craziest fourth quarter I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, we definitely, when we continue to talk about learning how to win, we made a few decisions there, leaving a shooter open that made it really interesting down the stretch. But, man, what a game for our girls to just go finish one, fight through that adversity. There's fans yelling about refs. There's a lot going on all around the arena. To be able to block that out and just go take care of business, that's a really, really big win for these girls, and just a big momentum builder for us, and really, really proud of them.
And I know it's easy to look at the fact that you had a double-digit lead and then it got cut down to 2, but you got to think, because of that run to get up to that double-digit lead, they were able to take home the win. And when your team is firing on all cylinders, this team can really compete.
Yeah, there was, you could go across the board. Every single player out there hit a big shot, made a big defensive play, did whatever. Nora Kraske taking 2 charges. That's not really going to make a lot of stat books, but those were critical moments in the game, putting a really, really good player in some foul trouble. And we had big shots all around from September, Jordan, Eden. Just a great job, and going and getting some free throws as well. And again, learning how to win, that's a huge step in the right direction. And, it makes the bus ride back a little sweeter for the girls. And, again, I'm really proud of them.
I'm glad you mentioned Nora Kraske and those 2 charges taken. She's just one of those players where the stat sheet doesn't quite do her justice. Feels like almost the one of the glue guys on the team, as they call them. But you had 3 players all in double-digit scoring, and that would be Eden Wolfgram, Jordan Cooter, and September Rao. I mean, it makes it a lot harder on the opposing defense when you've got 3 players who are scoring in high numbers.
Yeah, and a lot of credit to the girls, because this is a game where pregame we really just told them that we're going to trust them and we're going to let them just go play together. Try not to call a lot of sets if we don't need to, and let them go drive, get in the paint, kick, move the ball, and just play off each other, because they're really good when they do that. And so I thought you saw that tonight. And then the great thing about that is then you end up getting a lot of players who get in a rhythm, and that was great for us and huge for us down the stretch. So, yeah, offensively, awesome to see a lot of girls step up like that. And then again, defensively, not our best rebounding night, but again, girls that stepped up in critical moments to get big rebounds. And so I'm just going to keep saying I'm really proud of them.
And you have every reason to be proud of them. You come in as the underdog on the road. You get your first road win of the season. Just a great overall performance. And now on to Brandon Valley tomorrow night.
Yeah, and obviously we know number 1 team in the state. And, again, we're going to have to define our own wins and take it possession by possession. You can't eat an elephant all at once. It's got to be bite by bite, right? Like that old saying. And same thing with a really, really good team. You can't worry about the fourth quarter or the end of the game before it's tipped off. You've got to take it possession by possession, and then recognize that whether you have success or failure on that possession, that's done and over with, and the next one presents a new opportunity, and you go at it again and try and find the win on that possession. And so that's what tomorrow's got to be about. I know the girls have a team brunch scheduled, and they're excited about that because they don't have to go to school. Us teachers will be at school all day, ready for the, waiting the game. But they're going to have a little brunch in the morning, and then we'll go get after it again, and then go into the weekend.
All right, thanks as always, Coach. Always appreciate the chat, and we'll talk with you tomorrow about the upcoming game.
Awesome. Thank you very much. Go Gazelles.
Again, you just heard from Blake Savvy, head coach of the Gazelles, coming off a win against the Huron Tigers. And that about does it here tonight. I'm Zach Spear for Gage Ravelette. Tune in tomorrow night as a doubleheader against Brandon Valley on Classic Hits 106.3 and Yankton, streaming on YouTube. Have a great rest of your night.
This has been a presentation of Yankton High School basketball from 5 Star Communications. Thanks for tuning in, and join us next time for all Yankton athletics. Go Bucks and Gazelles!